click go live. You switched the camera, but didn't go live.
Oh, I'm so dumb.
That's okay. I clicked go live just now. Well, that incentivizes the patrons. Hi, how are you? We didn't realize we switched video. We didn't start rolling live. There
I'm so dumb.
We're back now. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Shout out to Galen Cicero for actually saying something after 15 minutes. We appreciate that. So now we're live. Okay. I thought something was weird with the preview because of the thing. It's okay. You was playing the preview thing. No, we've been here the whole time, Max, just because none of you said anything, despite the fact that we were clearly over the time. We were just talking. So, hey, support us on Patreon. You can get those 15 minutes back. It's a very long Patreon intro.
It's very long.
Luckily, that means that the live stream will start there. Well, yeah, but the time was set for 7. No, did you guys assume anything? If we're dying, we're yelling. Like, if we're, like, technical difficulties, I'll be like, oh, my God, technical difficulties, don't go away. Ow! Hey, we're here. Okay. Well, you missed us waxing poetic about Final Fantasy XIV for, like, 15 minutes. And talking about some other stuff.
Omega's going to be very...
Good?
Omega's going to be tired today.
Yes. I guess now that we are live, I should briefly re-explain that story.
Oh, yeah.
So, I am a little sleepy today. I did not sleep well because you may have noticed Let's Talk FGO isn't out yet. That's because it was slightly later and slightly longer than usual. So, I believe, like I said, I don't think I properly went to bed until, like, 6:30 when the episode was done rendering and I threw it up to upload. Patrons can watch it now, but there was a long dovetail on that, so we were working on that there. But it will come out sometime after this.
I don't want to be mean to my teams, but I really feel like they're not really doing much.
When things change, the more they stay the same. Defeat. Yeah, it was a fast defeat.
Yeah, no, fucking, yeah, we got 8 kills, fucking 19 deaths. 3 of those kills were mine.
Something seems incorrect here.
Yes. God damn it. Yeah, shout out to you, Galen.
So my notes are a little weird and wobbly.
No, but I think we started off our Final Fantasy XIV talk by Megan asking me why I had decided to stream 14 today, and I explained something. It was a gripping tale of sadness and loss and finding your way again, but we already said it once, so I'm not going to do it again. But really what this made me, and this is the point where we're going to get to when we're talking about how cracked, because Omega is watching through the preview and just sees the weird things that I see sometimes, and I think it's twice today he's been like, wait, one moment, go back to that, what?
Yeah, no. It's very common whenever you do Final Fantasy XIV for these streams. There'll be a moment whenever you're in like usually like a town or something. Somebody will just cruise by like on a mount or in a costume. And I'll be just like, hold on a second, what was that?
Excuse me. But the reason why I decided to pick 14 today is, one, I want to condition myself to get into playing it on the reg again. Am I missing the chat? I am missing the chat overlay. Why am I missing the chat overlay? I shouldn't be missing the chat. Did I put on the
do you have it accidentally hidden?
No.
I do that all the time.
No, it should be.
Which also, by the way, if chat is not showing up, you should not feel bad. I have done that multiple times.
Well, because usually, excuse me. Usually when, oh god.
Nope.
Usually when I don't have the chat overlay, it has the weird window in it. It's just blank. That's weird. Let me try it again here. Copy, restore, property, control.
Yeah, maybe we need to resync the.
Yeah, let me try that.
The link or something.
No, it's just not working. Weird.
Did our chat overlay site break? See, now we do have technical difficulties, and now we're here for this.
Now we're here for this. Hang on a second here.
It reminds me of in the Let's Talk when we get up. There's I alluded to it, but in real time, the patients will remember there was a like 5 to 10 minute breakdown when Lucky was having problems with print screen, and we just had to troubleshoot the whole thing. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna start the show back up. We're. I know what it's like when something is like wrong and you got to figure it out. And this is why generally I prefer when the audience is like, hey, yeah, no, something really loud is happening, or, oh, yeah, chat's missing. Like, that's because, like, when we're doing this whole process, especially, if you're watching through, like, the tiny preview window or whatever, what we see is not always what you see. So we have a whole process of, like, figuring everything out.
Hang on one second. The screen's going to get a little weird here for a second while I check some stuff.
I also... this is something I did talk about in there. Specifically why some of the other stuff I've been having some of these thoughts about 14 is I have been watching, like, 14 meme videos and stuff for the past couple of weeks. And I just saw a light party flick up, and I did not hear or see the twinning.mp4 in my brain.
It's important. All right, well, do not worry, people. We can see what you have to say.
Oh, yeah. I have live chat pulled up, and I've got double monitors, so we can see you. We like to preserve the overlay for the sake of everybody, but... Actually, hold on. That's a good question. Can I... We don't normally save chat replay. Can I hot swap? Oh, no. Live chat replay is on. Okay, so... If you're watching this not on mobile... Actually, I think it might work on mobile, but... The live chat in the side window of YouTube should still play. It's just that if you watch the video, like, full screen, you won't see the chat play along.
Well, I guess now you can see my full lovely UI.
Ooh, UI.
Actually, before I keep talking about it, can I please tell people to stop bitching about UI elements, please? It's annoying me now. Like,
is there a particular context to this, or
yes,
is it just a thing that happens generally? Okay, go for it.
Because today, I mean, not today, sometime in the past week, someone posted a video about gameplay for the newest Saints Row, and people were not enthused about it, and I'm like, well, I can't fucking please everyone. And then, I was looking at the comments because I am a fucking glutton for punishment, as usual. And there's this one comment about someone was saying how the UI was shit and it had too much shit. I looked at the UI, it was literally just a health bar and a fucking ammo counter. I'm just like, fucking excuse me? And then someone else had said, no, the UI is fine. Like, we gotta have some elements. And then someone posted the fucking Elden Ring meme about, having every single fucking UI element. It's like, people won't be happy unless they have this. I'm just like, why do people have to go...
I literally pulled up a gameplay demo from late last month. And it's just Saints Row. You've got, I mean, there are a lot of... They might be, because that's not really the UI. They might be talking about there's, like, XP pop-ins that have been in since at least Saints Row the 3rd that are, like... There's a shitload of those coming in. I can see how that might get a little annoying and distracting. But, like, there's just an objective and a quest marker in the top. There's a health bar, and there's a purple bar, which is something. I don't understand, because I'm not watching the gameplay, like, audio.
But, and then, someone's just popped out, that, and I'm just like, why do people have to go to the extremes on something? It's like, I swear, ever since fucking Elden Ring came out, like, I don't want to like necessarily shit on Elden Ring per se. I'm sure it's a fine and functional game for what it intends, but
no, yes, Lucky, we don't want to shit on Elden Ring.
I want to
shit. Those guys are great. We can shit on Elden Ring players.
Yes.
Because, my God, I think I've told this story before. I remember I brought up the whole...
Oh, man, we actually murked our entire fucking team. What the actual fuck just happened? I'm sorry, I don't actually know what just happened. I mean, if Nasu's going on there talking about how we need no UI and fucking post that meme about the fucking,
Or if Nasu is one of those guys talking about how PvP is essential to balance the game. It's not meant to be played with just your friends. I am the terror that flaps in the night to balance your broke-ass build. Oh, my God. I've talked about that before. There was a lot of drama about the flawless co-op mod because it completely bypasses the PvP system. And, like, PvP players in Elden Ring were so nuclear about it.
Yeah.
They were so butthurt about the idea that players could, enjoy a game with their friends without PvP shitlords getting in their business.
Yes.
And, like, it's so weirdly self-aggrandizing. So I really feel like what's
the word I want to use? It's the... I'm sorry, I'm thinking of a particular negative connotation for fandoms. I can't think of it off the time. I think it has something to do with poison. What is it?
Toxic.
Thank
fandom?
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, toxic. Okay, I will amend it. I will have shit to say about toxic Elden Ring players if Axe needs to be fucking clear on shit.
I don't. Axe is usually a nice person. He generally tries not to be mean. But there are times when you offer a superlative where he's just like, he tries to make you turn that into you're shitting on somebody, and I'm just like, a lot of the times you're just like, okay, fine, I'll pick a fight with them, Axe. What the fuck do you want from me? Whereas Dallas, if you offer a superlative, is just like, hey, whoa, and I'm like, shut up, Dallas, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking about the other 4 people in the call. Quiet. There's no way to say you plurally and not include other people without... There's no way to use pronouns that way. I would have to use proper nouns, which would defeat the purpose if I have to name all 4 people at once. But yeah, no, there's definitely a toxic mindset to... I mean, there's toxicity in all kinds of players. You know, we talk about how cool 14 is with all the cosmetic shit and the community stuff they do and whatever.
No, you never do fucking Axe, and that's because you never think about it.
But, like... There's definitely, I think it even has its own toxic elements.
Oh, no,
right?
definitely.
Where, like, I've seen a lot of memes about people, like... Because 14 experienced such a large surge in popularity due to not really the death of WoW, but WoW shrunk a lot, World of Warcraft, because of a wombo combo of the fact that definitely the last X-Pack, I think several of the previous X-Packs have been poorly received. And also the great shit-fitting that is, hey, Blizzard has just all the bad stuff right now, all the bad press. We've got, you know, sex pest scandals. We've got poor working conditions. We've got shitty Chinese cross-made, you know, pay-to-win scumlord games on mobile. Don't you have phones?
Phones.
Which is, like, if they were literally any company other than Blizzard or a tier like that, they would be in the ground right now. It's so blatant how they try to, like, manipulate this. Like, how many times did you see a fucking Overwatch 2 trailer or news or whatever right around the time some bad news came out about Blizzard? It was literally all the time. I didn't even give a shit about Overwatch 2. I have a beta. I don't even know if it's any good. But I so don't care anymore. I mean, I don't want to tell you guys how to feel, but for me personally, the moment I was ever like, wow, I don't think I'll ever care about your company ever again, was the Free Hong Kong thing when they, you know, banned and took away the money from that player, and I was just like, so your opinions on political freedom and diversity and all that cool stuff that you try to sell with Overwatch is just so you can take my money, but you'll ignore all of that so you can take China's money. Okay, fuck you. I'm not giving you my money.
I don't know. Like, I mean, China's come out swinging recently, and it doesn't look like the U.S. is all too happy about that.
No, we're, well, yeah, the Taiwan issue is another one of the great interesting conflicts of our time. I think I made a dark joke during one of our downtime moments in Let's Talk FGO as I was scrolling Twitter. I think it was while you were resetting your PC, and I was like, oh, well, looks like we're on the verge of World War III again, because in response to, you know, Congressman Pelosi's visit to Taiwan, which was the highest rank visit we've had in a while, the Chinese have been very agita, including allegedly firing missiles over the island. Like they need to remind people that they can hit an island. Well, then again, with North Korea, I guess you do have to show that. And how many times did the Russians clearly miss what they were aiming at in Ukraine? So maybe you do have a little something to prove these days. But yeah, it's a whole wacky and wild one, and I think the World War III of the South China Sea is probably something that our audience will want to pay a little more attention to, because Japan would almost certainly be involved in that one. They're already quite agita about everything.
Man, our fucking sprawl setting might be more true than we think, eh?
Yeah, who knows? But so to go back to the toxic fandom point I was going to make is talking about, like, WoW obviously, like, has been on a downtrend, and as a result 14 has been on an uptrend, because ever since I think it's fair to say ever since A Realm Reborn, after they had the big overhaul, they've had a fairly like positive reputation and uptick. Good expand. Has there been a bad 14 expansion?
I would say there hasn't been a bad one. Some definitely stand out better than others.
Yeah, like you've got some averages, but you've never. There's a lot of expansions for WoW, but like if I was to go to a WoW player, if Dallas was here right now and I was like, yo, what are bad World of Warcraft expansions? They could rattle off a couple.
Oh, definitely.
So like 14's been pretty consistent, it's been pretty growing, but like I said, because I've been observing some memes, there are some kind of like mean-spirited digs at WoW occasionally and Blizzard, the kind of natural smugness that comes from being like honestly kind of looked down on. Like I know especially in older time periods, a lot of the classic neckbeard Grognard type WoW players were like, Final Fantasy 14, the Catgirl game. You're not wrong, but
no, you're not.
Like it's it's the big dig. I mean, I know they're not wrong. Again, I've talked about this before, but you should. I mean, I want you to go watch these videos so he makes more of them. But Rubik's Raptor, one of the YouTube channels I follow, he normally does like milsim stuff, and a lot of shooters and things. But he has a fairly large, specifically Arma 3 group, but Arma group to do this from. But he's done a couple of videos on 14, and the first one he did, he talked about how he, got his whole Arma group to like sign on and join him for some raids, and he was like, yeah, 99% of them picked Catgirls. There was like the group shot is like all Catgirls, and I think they had one Lalafell, and it was that guy in their group, the like weird demented meme one, which seems to fit my understanding of Lalafell.
Potatoes. Oh, we have had a full.
You think they're the adorable short ones, but no, they're weird and terrifying.
Well, it's because there's a lot of Lalafell villains in this game, so it's a little weird to think about.
Oh my god, there are. That's so great. But yeah, like I said, there's I think a little bit of clapback smugness. Like even in that video, Rubik's Raptor talks about how Final Fantasy XIV's got a resurgence of population, so I'm happy to quote unquote come out of the closet of playing this game, right? So I think there's a little bit of smug satisfaction now that WoW's kind of on the down, and the 14 is obviously way up with Endwalker and stuff.
Oh yeah.
That like there's some smug like, oh, we were always better than those guys. And I mean, I want to be like, 1, no you weren't. 1.0 exists. 2, WoW has been doing this for way longer. They've had more time to fuck it up and come back. And we'll see. They're working on a new X-Pack, but I think some people have said that they've seen some of the beta stuff and they're not super enthused. We'll see how it goes. I know that Diablo Immortal is like dumb. What's the cost to max level a character? Over $1,000, I think.
Really?
Yeah. It's because it's a mobile game with like gacha and loot boxing elements. So to like fully max out your a specific character, you'll need to like spend a shitload of money. It's absolutely like whale bait.
Oh, I think we're gonna lose.
We are in overtime.
No, they get their entire team on the point basically, and
nope, yeah, that happens. Speaking of Overwatch.
Yeah, and we have too many people down. Nah, they're just gonna focus. All they have to do is focus fire people as they run up, and they'll win. And if we don't run up, they'll just
win anyway. Yeah.
Yeah,
it happens.
It does. Like I said, I never get mad at decent and actual close games. It's when you get absolutely curb stomped or your team is completely ineffective. I'm just all like, then I'm like, like we almost won. Like so.
Yeah, no, and that at least I can relate because, like I said, I have played Overwatch and some other games like that. Like I understand, team comp and stuff like that, and it is always the ones where like. And I was talking about the overtime thing. Yeah, it is really annoying when you've got the rock stopped 10 feet from the point when they're just like, nope, they keep touching it. They keep touching the rock. And I'm like, oh my God, just die already. Die. Stop touching the minecart. Please. I'm dying. I beg of you.
Cease.
But okay, we've had a 20-minute random diversion, which I predicted in the silent opening.
That's how we do.
Want to roll back and actually talk about some of that Final Fantasy VII's news that I was discussing when we realized we weren't actually live.
Oh, yeah.
So I mentioned before, and it's been a little bit, so I can start over again, that recent interviews have come out about the remake series, and they have clarified that Final Fantasy VII Remake series will have all the same location, or include at least all the locations that were originally in Final Fantasy VII. That they said that the exact plot beats and the timing may be different, so you might not necessarily go, Junon, Costa del Sol, Coral Town, Gold Saucer, etc., stuff like that. They might switch up the order, they might mix stuff up a little, and to make it flow better to whatever.
Like, honestly, I'm pretty sure they're going to turn, like, the Chocobo Farm into a mini-game event area. Not
Almost assuredly, yes.
You see, the thing I need to know, what I need to know is if they're going to keep all the mini-games or not. Are you going to have to dolphin jump? Are you going to have to march in line? I'm like, that's what I want.
They gave us a rhythm segment out of nowhere. They got to let us march in line, right? Because that's basically what that is. That was a rhythm game in the original, because you had to press certain keys to certain gestures and whistle blows.
Mm-hmm.
So I could totally see that. I mentioned this before, but the Fort Condor minigame is literally just a minigame in the DLC. So they could easily like turn. I could imagine them turning Fort Condor into a full blown like proper chapter, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all like deathly serious about we gotta protect this egg in the Mako reactor and whatever. But also I could see them just being like, yeah, no, this is just where you play the game Fort Condor. Because the Fort Condor game is incredibly based. Oh my god. Anyway, so yeah, that's really heartening news to like know that they're not planning on cutting any locations per se. The main thing will be if they add areas, like obviously there are a couple of chapters of like pure new content in Remake.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously some areas were very expanded.
Sir, were you not taking damage while stunned? Are you hacksaws?
How dare you?
There is a problem with hackers in this game. Because they have to win the PvP through any means necessary, which I really do personally.
That one guy right there is super dead.
Yeah.
He blew his ass up. Was that you or one of your allies who does the rock thing?
Me. That was me.
Where the rock could shoot out and crush.
Yeah, that's something I do.
Ah.
Oh,
I thought so because I kind of saw it a lot, but it could be out there.
Yeah, it's a summoner thing. Mountain Buster, that one. Boom, me. Listen, this game is a fucking light show.
Yes, there are a lot of special effects.
Uh-oh.
It happens.
I died.
I mean, I'm pretty sure in my mind, there's no fucking way that Gold Saucer is not just the like 50 minigame chapter like World Market was, because also the Gold Saucer actually had that many minigames. There's the roller coaster. There's the arcade where you could replay old minigames.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was Chocobo Racing was a thing. Which I'm sure will return in some form.
They better. I mean, we have Gold Saucer here in 14, and there's Chocobo Racing there. You can't have Gold Saucer without Chocobo Racing. It's illegal.
Yeah. Let's see, what other was there? Well, there was a battle arena also in Gold Saucer, so obviously that will return with probably a similar function to the one in Wall Market.
Technically, there was also one in Shinra Tower, the simulator.
Yeah, that's right. There were two. That was then the simulator in Shinra Tower is very important for stuff.
I will say that about the remake. I do appreciate that they gave you a way to get additional summons, but I was kind of hoping we will like. I think that like the more I think about it, the more I understand why they had to do it, because you literally get like no summons in fucking Midgar originally, like none, and I think people would have been very agita.
Yeah, and there's even some other stuff like
oh shit.
Like even in the DLC, you can get access to some simulator matches and get access to summons. Like when you roll up into Sector 7, you can find your boy, and Yuffie can do simulator training to get Rema and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of that. What summons are we missing from? I mean, a lot, because there were actually quite a few summons in 7. Guys, do you think they're gonna bring back Knights of the Round?
I don't know.
Because I know they haven't done that one. I don't think they've done that one in Final Fantasy in a while, but it's like so infamous to 7.
Oh, well, no, technically Knights of the Round is in Heavensward, but they're a villainous force.
Yeah. Well, as a lot of the classic summons are.
Yeah.
I know for a fact one of the dungeons is called the Coils of Bahamut, so...
Yeah. Bahamut's the big bad, and, well...
Yeah.
Well, actually, I won't say...
Bahamut is often a big bad Chungus in these JRPGs.
Actually, I want to say he's closer to a force of nature. You don't stop Bahamut. Bahamut just kind of blows your shits up and goes. And I'm dead again.
Well, Lucky did point out that some of these guys may or may not be hacking because they don't seem to be taking damage. I don't know if we've proven that or not yet, but I also don't know in PvP modes, your abilities are done slightly differently than PvE, so they're more balanced, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't necessarily know how this correlates with gameplay. Some of it might just be that they're well organized.
It could be. The only problem I have with that theory is that these matchups are supposed to be completely fucking random. So I have problems, like, understanding... Wait a minute.
Yeah, I don't know if they can team it, but...
They should have taken more damage. No, oh, maybe it's the buffs. Oh, they all have Protect up. Most of them did.
Yeah, there was definitely, like, a barrier or something on that first hit where they didn't take shit, and then they started taking damage.
Could they have Protect? I thought Protect... I mean, guess that maybe that White Mage is really going ham on the healing.
Well, yeah, obviously, like, don't want to get into it too much, but we might talk about some different gameplay stuff later. But there's quite a variety of classes in 14, and as far as I can tell, most of them seem to do quite a few different things. You know, like, you've got, what is it, 3 or 4 healer specs?
4.
Yeah, like
we have
4 healer jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, because we have at in-game content you have White Mage, Astrologian, Sage, and
Scholar.
Scholar. Thank you.
So those guys do things in different ways. Like,
holy shit,
White Mage is usually your big bursty heals.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I believe Sage is focused on a lot of like preventative healing and barriers.
Damn.
Ow,
yeah, no,
shit.
they just fucking nuked us.
Yeah, I don't know, as you said, if this matchup is supposed to be random, I don't know how, but these guys are clearly seem like they're coordinated. Like, I don't know if they're just really good or, like, they have a system, but that was some very coordinated ability usage to just drop a lot of nukes on you.
Yeah. Yeah, no. There's definitely some hacks. Look at this kill death at this KDA. They killed us 25 times. We killed 5 of them.
That does not seem normal.
No. Nah, that's definitely some hacks, but the problem with like I can suspect hacking, but I can't prove hacking. If I could prove that they were hacking, I'd be like, Square Enix, yeet these people. Because like all games, Square Enix has a constant update of people they are kicking from this game because they refuse to, play by the fucking rules.
Happens very often.
But back on 7 news.
Yeah. But yeah, the other thing I heard about, if nobody else wants to yell about possible Gold Saucer minigames, although actually I did want to let me look up how many summons there are in 7, but while I'm doing
Oh yeah,
that,
summons, that's something we were talking about. I remember, was it Hades that was in the Rex sub? Or was that Typhoon? I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Hades was in there. There was also a Typhon, I think. There was a lot, was the thing. So let's see. You can only get Carbuncle from the digital deluxe edition, and Cactar was any deluxe edition. Predator was the Chocobo chick. There was Ifrit, Chocobo and Moogle, so the Choco summon. Shiva, Fat Chocobo, Leviathan, Bahamut. Bahamut was the, double secret one. And then Rama was in the DLC.
Okay.
That's a
fair list.
Yeah. And I would assume that probably, some of them might return as pre-orders, but I could definitely see, like, Carbuncle and Cactar, like, or then the Chocobo chick or whatever, like, moving to normal gameplay materia in future.
Well, again, I still have to wonder, like, are they going to, like, for Rebirth, like, to import your fucking save wherever it was? It's like, this is what you got, go for it. Or are they gonna reset you?
Yeah, that's something we don't have any clarification on yet. I assume that for the sake of, like, rebalancing the combat, they will probably do some form of level reset, but we'll probably do some kind of like, hey, we've detected your old save data. We're gonna like import these things, like
I mean, honestly, I think
maybe some of your old limit breaks and materia and stuff. I mean, the level cap was 50. They might. That probably means that they're gonna push the level cap, to like 100. What does that mean for game 3, right? We got to think a couple games ahead. Maybe they'll reset you to like level, like a soft cap of like 20 or 25, and then the game goes higher.
I'm trying to remember what level I beat the game at. It
was fairly high up. I had a lot of the weapon skills too. So let's see. The total summon materia though in original 7 was Chalkmog, Shiva.
Yep.
Chalkmog, by the way, was the first one you could get, which was in the Chocobo farm. Just to reiterate Lucky's point about how you could not get summons that early.
Yes.
Literally, it's like the second place you got to go after Midgar. There's Shiva, which is obtained in the under Junon Ifrit, which you get from Junova Rebirth or Birth.
That's the fight on the boat.
Yep, it's the boat one. Rama was originally found in the Gold Saucer.
Really?
Titan is in the Rama's also missable. I don't think I've ever missed him, but yeah, he's in the Chocobo Racing Lounge. You got to remember to pick him up.
Oh.
Titan is in the Gongana Reactor.
Yep. He's in that little broken bit. I remember that.
Yep. Odin is accessible from the safe in the Shinra Mansion when you do the secret boss fight.
Fight secret number?
Yeah.
That's a very scary
which I'm
boss.
guessing that boss fight will probably not be so optional in this one because we're almost assuredly going to force you to pick Vincent. So I would assume that unless they don't do it earlier, you're going to get Odin for sure there. Leviathan, you have to do the Wutai subquest and defeat Godo.
I remember that.
Yep. Bahamut's in the Temple of the Ancients after you defeat the Red Dragon.
Rawr.
Regular Bahamut, I should say.
Run me, run! I'm taking the objective! Shit.
There is the, either Kujata or Kajata. It's in the Sleeping Forest. Let's see, that does Tetra Disaster, which is fire, ice, and lightning damage. The Cosmic Bull.
Holy shit, we made it.
Alexander is in the Great Glacier.
God damn it, they keep fucking tagging our fucking spots so we can't fucking... There we go. Uh-oh.
Let's see. Phoenix is the reward for Fort Condor.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's probably going to be a pretty rad summon in
I
the
died.
series somewhere. Because that would be its final move, is to heal everybody. As you do. Neo Bahamut's in the Whirlwind Maze.
Whirlwind Maze. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Hades is located in the Sunken Galinka. So the ruins underground. Typhon is found in the Ancient Forest.
Oh,
as
okay.
well. Bahamut Zero is in Cosmo Canyon if you got the huge blue materia, and you have it and Neo Bahamut. Knights of the Round requires a special, and Knights of the Round is the last one that requires the gold chocobo on the special island. So yeah, there was a lot of them. We've only done like maybe half.
Who knows? Maybe.
Solid.
And who knows? Maybe the team will add like some crazy ones or something. Because technically, Carbuncle wasn't in the first one.
No, that's true. Yeah, Carbuncle was, and Cactar wasn't either. But there are a lot of recurring summons.
Clearly, we're gonna need to pull out a fucking Siren and a Doom Train. I do think that 8's fucking GF system was pretty fucking baller. And it was weird too. They just had weird shit. Oh,
and then there's other ones that have appeared. Like, I don't think, is there a... I mean, technically, you can do it with some others, but is there a wind-themed one?
In 7?
In 7, yeah. I don't remember there was an area.
No, I don't...
So we could do Veil 4. That was added in 10. And has been reused a lot.
If I remember, 10 was... Veil 4 in 10 was more non-elemental damage. Kind of like Bahamut was. I remember fucking Energy Ray and Energy Blast. It was just beam. Like, nah, I would lean on Garuda. Shit! Sorry, Big Bomb's blowing fucking...
Sure, Garuda's another one that could show up. We didn't have Yojimbo or Gilgamesh in the original 7.
Oh, true. When did was first... Was Yojimbo first a 10?
I think Yojimbo was first in 10. Gilgamesh obviously is recurring long ago, but he's not necessarily a summon all the time.
Uh-oh.
Maybe there is. Is there a Gilgamesh cameo in the original 7? There's so much shit in the original 7, I don't even remember.
I don't know if there's a Gilgamesh. I know there's a Gilgamesh cameo in 8, but we might be able to pull this one off.
The Yojimbo summon, recurring summon, first in X. Appears obviously in 14, in Final Fantasy Tactics S, Dimensions 2, Dissidia, and T. Yeah, so he's mainly in the biggest titles. The core titles he was in was X, X2, and 14, and then he's also shown up in Yojimbo specifically, shown up in all them gacha games and stuff they do.
Mm-hmm.
Them mobile games with all them characters and stuff. But since we can already access Leviathan, I could totally see them putting a Yojimbo bonus boss in like a Wutai area.
Oh, the Necromancer fucked up. They got off the point, so we won.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
as you said, sometimes you win because the other team is dumb.
Yeah, no, actually, we got less kills than them, but we barely won. Yay!
Well, and that's why it's not just like a PvP kill 'em all arena.
Well,
Does
true.
14 have those?
Yeah, frontline. Basically,
Okay.
they take 24 people. I mean, no, they don't take 20, but they take 72 people, split them into 3 teams of 24, and it's like, all right, you 24, go try kill the entire other 48 people, and get points and get objectives. It's a bloodbath.
Team deathmatch.
Therefore, and thusly, we are all stuck in a giant team deathmatch. God, I miss Code Mint. If you don't know what Code Mint is, it's the fucking abridged series that gave you I'm at Soup.
A legend.
It is a legend.
We do also, by the way, have some reunion news, as I mentioned earlier.
Yeah!
It's still they're keeping it mostly the same. The main thing is there's going to be UI and camera fixes and stuff. Going to re-rig some animations, but mostly the same thing. They will have a new voiceover for some scenes that were previously text only. So I think that means they're probably gonna completely re-record the dialogue and actually include new dialogue. And they also will have a new arrangement of the soundtrack by the original composer, which is great.
That's good.
Because if you've never heard the Crisis Core soundtrack, it's got some good shit in there.
Nah, everything's been coming up Square Enix. Like,
Yep.
from, I want to say September, like, just on. It's just like, hey, we got, like, something coming out, like, maybe every couple weeks. I hope y'all are ready. And me, I'm just like, no, I'm not ready.
September is...
Dealfield, I believe.
Dealfield, and I think Valkyrie Elysium is late that as well. Let me scroll down to
I think,
September.
is Valkyrium? I thought Valkyrium was...
Yeah, Valkyrie Elysium. September 29th, along with the PS5 and PS4 version of Valkyrie Profile Lenneth.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dealfield is a little earlier, right? The Dealfield Chronicles, September 22. That's like a week apart. Damn Square.
I don't know if they got anything in October, but I know they got at least, like, 3 things coming out in fucking...
Well, so technically October is the Switch version of Nier Automata.
Oh, God, okay.
Which is funny.
Yeah. So, and then I know in November they got Harvestella, they got the Tactics...
No, they got something in October. I had to double check, but Square is the publisher behind Star Ocean the Divine Force. That's October 27th.
Oh, geez, really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
No, it's bad. It's real bad. It's rough.
Listen, this fucking fall is gonna kill me for games. Like, it's gonna start in fucking... on my birthday, August 23rd for Saints Row. Because I'm getting it. All you haters are haters.
No, they had a great trailer about, like, all the different customizations they've gotten from the Boss Factory. And it's, yeah. Looks like a lot of fun.
I will agree that the graphics, they seem to be the highest tech. But I'm like, okay, it's fine, whatever. It's fine.
Oh,
Not everything has to be a fucking visual piece of art, you little shits.
Let's see, where is it? It is also available on last gen, so that makes sense. They're not... Because in the interview about 7 Rebirth, they did clarify why they're going to next gen only. It's because they need the increased, like, SSD speed and stuff. So
I believe it.
Properly load all the assets in.
That probably means it's going to be a bigger game.
Yeah. they're gonna have more juice behind it. So yes, there's gonna be more stuff in there. Whereas the new Saints Row is available on last gen as well, so they are probably trying not to nuke last gen consoles.
Listen, everyone learned a lot of lessons from Cyberpunk.
Yeah. Which was mainly that Cyberpunk really should have just dropped the last gen requirement and made only for next gen, but they were concerned about their market share, and it was, I think, legitimate. But yeah, no, so. Oh shit, that Cult of the Lamb game comes out soon. That kind of looks kind of fun.
Which one?
Cult of the Lamb. You've probably seen some of the videos up on PlayStation's YouTube channel. It's like a cult simulator.
Oh,
Recruit people. You make sacrifices to the dark gods.
Sick.
Stuff like that. And it's got kind of a little.
Okay, that person literally hit through what was supposed to be my fucking strongest strike. I don't trust that. I don't trust that.
What games are coming out in August? Let me check.
Well, I know Saint Row is August 23rd because that's my birthday. Day of birth.
Midnight Fight Express. I'm very excited for Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed. That's August 30th. Pretty good one. That'll probably be my two big games for the month for sure. Will be Saints Row and Destroy All Humans 2. For those of you who are interested in Atlas, Soul Hackers 2 does come out August 26th.
I'm a little bit interested in it because I do want to get me some more. I do like me some Atlas games.
Let's see. September's gonna be pretty interesting. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R is very early in September.
Guys, I can't be the only one on this fucking point, y'all. Uh-oh. I'm gonna die.
Especially considering you normally main summoner, right? So
yes.
That's your DPS.
I'm supposed to be, in the back, hitting people with spells, not in front, being like, hey, look at this person. Look at this soft schmuck. I think I literally have the least amount of health in this fucking group.
That's what tanks are for. Tanks up front. Casters in back. Healers support. Let's see, but what else have we got?
It's not back.
Not that either of us are particularly excited, but allegedly, Last of Us Part 2 is also September 2nd. Or Last of Us Part 1 on the PS5. We'll see how that goes for them.
Oh, that ninja went all out on me.
Platoon 3.
And of course, we're all dying very hard.
We're all dying all the time. That Evil West game, that's going to be September.
Axe, don't wish bad things on people. Again,
I kind of agree with the sentiment, but the thing about selling poorly and stuff is I don't really want to. 99% of the people at Naughty Dog have no control over this shit. I don't really want to wish ill for them and their works.
No, I'm not necessarily hyped about it. I don't understand why they do this. What I hope is that it isn't fucking amazing and they encourage this behavior, but I don't want them to fucking fail at it. If they fail at it, that means they've lost money, and that means they won't be able to go on and develop things, because for all intents and purposes, I do like Naughty Dog still. I love Jak and Daxter. I love the first part, the original Last of Us. When I played it, and like I said, I'll probably play part 2 one day. That day is just not today.
No.
And, I love the Uncharted season, so yes, even if this is maybe a weird artsy-fartsy time in their life, I don't want them to fail in necessarily anything, because guess what? That's just going to kick back them maybe actually going on to do other stuff. And honestly, wishing ill upon other people is a bad thing. Do you want people wishing bad things about you when you try something different or new? Fuck no, you don't.
Nah, nobody wants that. As I like to say,
so if you don't want it to happen to you, don't wish it upon other people. It's really fucking simple that way.
Ah, yes, the Code Geass solution. If the king doesn't lead first, the troops won't follow. Did you just move your king? Shut up. I'm a genius. But yeah, no, my optimal solution to the Last of Us Part 1 quote-unquote problem is I kind of hope it just does middling and it doesn't actually do the thing they wanted it to do, which is wipe the taste of everybody complaining about Last of Us Part 2 out of their mouths, because even though they've got a great reviewer score, they have a crappy Metacritic score, as we've discussed the memes before with Stray.
Yes.
And that they realize that trying to recapture the Last of Us magic is not how they go forward as a game studio. They should either, take some of their Papa Sony money and turn it into a new IP, or I don't know, you could actually revisit Jak and Daxter. The third game was very open-ended when it left off. There's a lot you could do there. You could also do loads with, sure, Nathan Drake's story is done, but Lost Legacy really proved you guys make good games. You have a lot of shit you could still do with the Uncharted characters, and there's a lot you could work up to. I think I talked about this when we actually finished our Uncharted series through both 4 and Lost Legacy, was I would love to see that Sam Drake and
Sully
game. Yeah, Sam and Sully game with, maybe some Nate and Elena cameos, maybe some, Chloe and Nadine cameos kind of a stuff, but I would love to see them switch up the character dynamics and try new environments and stuff, because I think they still have the juice to make those games good. But I also understand after a couple of PSP titles with some other people and 4.5, I guess we should say, mainline titles that they probably felt a little juiced. I think some of the main brains behind Uncharted ended up leaving the studio for other places, so I can understand why they wouldn't want to necessarily go back there. But I feel like there's new creative things they could do here, and honestly, I think that's just the thing about the Last of Us Part 1 that strikes me the worst is I know it's not lazy, because I am sure there are some poor modelers busting their balls trying to remap all the textures and whatever, and I know they talk about how they used AI algorithms to remap the mocap or whatever, but that still means that somebody had to go through and watch and make sure the computer didn't make anybody have a fucking Gmod face or something in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Human intervention is still needed, so I don't want to say it's lazy, but it definitely feels uninspired, I should say, to just be hey, what are we gonna do? The multiplayer standalone game that was supposed to be Last of Us Part 2 multiplayer is delayed. People are mad about Last of Us Part 2. What do we do? How can we recapture the magic? We'll just remake Last of Us Part 1. We'll call it Last of Us Part 1. And it's just okay, guys. Okay.
Well, at the time, Last of Us was pretty amazing. I don't want to say groundbreaking, but a lot of people praised it.
But it's
praised
a good title.
A lot of people praised its gameplay and its story beats and stuff, and all the little touches it had. So they're probably trying to be trying to capitalize on that old nostalgia and be no, it's Last of Us is good, y'all.
Yeah.
But no, it's it's a time for new things.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think it'll be very telling, because I do want to talk a little bit about some other PlayStation Plus news. I think we talked about what titles we got last week, but we should also mention we've just received some new news there. New news. I mean, I think we can just say it. Allegedly, in some form or another, all of the Yakuza series is coming to PS Plus.
I'm excited about this.
Like a Dragon is free for Essentials. All the games that are available on PS4 or 5 are coming to Extra, and Premium is getting the middle games, I think 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
3, 4, and 5, maybe something like that. But yeah, later games and remakes are coming to Extra. Premium's getting the quote unquote retro games. So yeah, there's a whole depth of studio stuff there that obviously is part of the fact that they made Yakuza Like a Dragon the teaser, the essential tier. They're they've made a decent deal here, and they're trying to clean up and get people really invested in the series, possibly even go for a an upgrade to your system, right?
God damn you, Imiyashiro! Why are you a red mage? And I die.
Well, he does use swords. But, it'll be very telling to see if Last of Us Part 1 is a PlayStation Plus game, right?
Yeah.
Because it comes out the 2nd, supposedly, if there's no delays. So that would be, right in the strike zone for a day and date, And if it is a free game, I think that'll tell us a lot that, probably Daddy Sony is not really confident this is going to be a seller on its own. It's more about like raising studio cred and stuff, and maybe getting some PlayStation conversions. If they do not offer it, or if it's like Stray, where it's only available if you have premium or more, that might be a little different. But we're gonna see what they go for, I think. They haven't committed to day and date on every game, so it's really could be anything. Keep scrolling through the old.
Oh, you blasted me away, you motherfucker! I mean, it's a smart move, but
Trails from Zero is in September as well, everybody.
Ah, shit! I need to get that.
I had a half second where I was like, okay, did Lucky aw shit the game, or because I was looking at a different tab, obviously, or did Lucky aw shit because of Trails of Zero?
Both.
Sounds about right. October's going to be pretty interesting. We're going to have to work on some scheduling there and double-check some stuff, because Plague Tale Requiem is October 18th.
Ooh.
What day of the week is that? Is that a moon day? That'd be very lucky if it was a moon day.
God,
no, it's a Tuesday. Fuck. Damn.
I really hate how I just show up and like, hey guys, how's it going? And I'm almost immediately dead. That bugs me on a spiritual level.
Yeah, I noticed there's a lot of red and green cards in these matchups. Not a lot of blue. Do not a lot of people play tanks in PvP?
Not really, because, you know, the thing is, you gotta make people dead.
True. Being a tank is not conducive to that. But it is also important sometimes to touch the point and live.
And the fucking...
Lots of laser groups. That motherfucker's chasing you.
Yeah, I don't...
Okay,
wait,
he turned around.
Where's the fucking... Oh, it's the point's here. And I'm stunned! I'm gonna die. Goodbye, world. Heal! Ah, the leaves!
Could be worse. I watched some... I also watched some, like, just because of the general, like, vibes and stuff, some, like, WoW videos. I've mentioned it before, but the Yu-Gi-Oh channel, The Duel Logs, he also has a WoW channel called Haruma Red. But, man, apparently, in, like, old school WoW and stuff, people just played slower. There were some stuns and shit that lasted, like, an unbelievably long time. Like, you could get stunned for, like, 30 seconds or, like, get locked out of certain abilities for multiple minutes of time, and I'm just like, wow.
That sounds horrible.
Especially on a subscription-based MMO, I'm just like, holy shit, that sounds like it sucks.
Like, my time is literally... Oh, I'm dumb.
I am literally paying for these minutes, and I am paying to be stunned. Damn. Whee!
I'm taking it back! I am not taking it back! This is a story about how Lucky got his point back.
I'm just looking at the list of games coming out that we usually do, and I'm just like, what the fuck are some of these games? What the fuck is Signalis? I don't even know.
God damn it, I really wish my Bahamut would have vanished when I died. The minute I start casting that, people are like, kill him!
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It happens a lot to casters.
Like,
Bayonetta 3 is October. That reminds me I need to buy Bayonetta 2. November's going to be a pretty slamma-jamma. You know, we've got Ragnarok. Fun fact, when we talked about all that Final Fantasy Tactics and other stuff. Tactics Ogre was mentioned a couple times, and Square Enix did actually come out and announce they are remastering the remaster. Tactics Ogre Reborn will be coming to most platforms in November. PlayStation, Switch, PC.
Just hits us with the fucking silence like he's fucking somebody. How has this man survived like that many people? Well, he's dead now, but...
Man, I'm also... Not to detract from Lucky being murdered in PvP again. But I'm also still blown away. There's also a huge list of games that are announced for sometime this year that we don't have a date on. Advanced Wars 1 and 2 was like indefinitely delayed because it was gonna launch like right as Russia invaded, and Nintendo still hasn't clarified when they want to bring that one back. Guys, you probably should just pick a date and go for it. I don't feel like the world tension level is gonna go down. Just saying.
I don't think the world tension would have gone up with the fucking game being released either, but, you know, that's just my
No,
thoughts.
but I mean, it was literally like the same weekend that it happened, so it might have been a little in poor taste.
I don't think so. The date was resolved. Did, like, fucking Nintendo call fucking Russia and been like, hey, Russia, we're gonna release this game. Is that cool with you? Fuck no.
Well, yeah, but it's still. I can understand why they didn't want to do it right away, because there was a lot of eyes, but I'm very shocked they haven't announced a date. Like, ever, anywhere in there. Let's see.
Oh, man, are we gonna lose? We might lose.
Earth Defense Force 6, for all of you people who like to yell about that. There's also that remake of Front Mission that's supposed to come out
I'm excited for that.
sometime. Please, Square, announce that one. Use a date.
Oh, no, we're done. We're fucking, yeah. Let's see the fucking damage.
The Hogwarts Legacy game hasn't really been clarified either, but that's still supposed to be on the down low somewhere. Let's see. Bringing Life is Strange Remastered to Switch.
Okay, fuck PvP for right now. Let's go do other shit.
Oh, yeah, the next gen version of RE7 is supposed to come out sometime this year. Hold on. Is that a remake of System Shock or like a remaster?
It has to be a remaster. If someone was remaking System Shock or System Shock 2, there'd be a lot more bugs. System Shock 2 is a fucking cult classic.
Yes, it is a remake. Okay.
Wow.
I've had to scroll through the news. We're remaking the original System Shock.
Holy shit.
And it will be available on PS5, Xbox, PS4, Xbox One, PC. So that's supposed to be sometime this year as well.
Lies. I hear almost no. I've heard like no news of this. It's just gonna be. It's gonna just roll over. They're gonna say.
Let me see when the last one was. The last news was there was a new trailer that confirms it's still coming in June. Okay. So you are still working on it, but I'm not going to necessarily say for sure that you're going to release it this year.
Yeah, no.
It is now August. You don't know when you're doing it. Oh shit, there's a new Jackbox that's supposed to come out this year, right? Party Pack 9. They'll figure it out at the same time. Vampire Survivors. Yeah, there's a handful. There's a few things.
You know what? I'm gonna go race chocobos.
All right, you could do that. And we've been recording for about an hour and a quarter, so about an hour of hourish of live time. I'm going to take a quick break and get up.
Righto.
I will pause the audio. Lucky will entertain all of you live with chocobo racing.
Yeah, it's quite fun. Alright, let's see here. To the Chocobo Square. Away. Actually, I haven't looked at my Chocobo in a minute. Let me see here. Okay. Looking a little green there, my dude. but it looks like I was able to get a star. Chocobo breedings is Cerbiz. Alright, let's see here. Let's just do a random Chocobo race. Might take a moment. We'll play a rousing game of Cuff the Cur. Oh, shit. Never mind, the race is ready.
Okay,
here we go.
I return. We're back. We're crew. We're moving. Actually,
Chocobo music always gives me life.
a classic. They know the theme. They're ready to rock and roll. Here it is. Lucky is obviously racing right now, but I will link a trailer. Oh, I didn't copy correctly.
Uh-oh.
Give me that. There we go. I will link a trailer to throw up because there was another game announcement that was it was a while back on the PlayStation, but I didn't catch it at the time. But I saw some of the footage and it's interesting. So this is this race releases and slated until next year, but it's called Mato Anomalies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got it is a JRPG, but it's got a lot of like mystery elements.
Oh, sick!
And investigation, and kind of they talk about it's kind of like a fantastical Shanghai-inspired setting. The titular motto.
Mm-hmm.
And like looking at the vibes from the trailer, they got some interesting stuff going on. I just happened to see it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that looks cool. Mato Anomalies, by the way. And yeah, there's a trailer out.
This fucker stole my.
Look it up, y'all.
Okay, you had too many fucking items there, you asshat. Damn it!
How dare he the items?
I think I still pull first though. Yay! Da, 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 da. I'm gonna have to look at this trailer. Actually, I could probably. Wait, no, I'm on fucking. My desktop audio is playing. Everyone will hear this.
Yeah, I don't know how well that will go.
Yeah, no, it's not. I will look at this later, though.
All right, solid. Push that off. This off. Just jotting down my notes.
Wait, no, I want to play Cuff the Cur. Honestly, if I'm gonna be honest, I kind of want to just boot up 7 Remake again just to fucking do the motorcycle segments because they are nice.
Yeah, they're pretty nice. I mean, the game is nice top to bottom, but there's some really standout segments. What they did with, especially like with like the whole thing. I mean, I kind of feel like the second motorcycle segment's a little too long with Motorball. They made it last a whole chapter, but they did an amazing job like arranging all the music and stuff there.
Well, I think Motorball is okay because, like, I do think it is kind of thing because it is, you know, the big escape from.
Yeah, and I guess it makes more sense to make you spend most of the time fighting the boss than the original motorcycle minigame, which is just you beat up so many trucks full of Shinra soldiers, and then you fight the boss at the end anyway.
Yeah. But
the original segments with Rush and stuff, like, that's all, like, really good.
Oh, yeah. Also, just going out, that whole section where you just go out to see fucking, you know, Jesse's family and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they have, like, so many little things. Nice.
Yeah, so much character depth is just added to, like, explain all those people and everything.
Mm-hmm. The fucking secret lab underneath fucking Sector 7 was a little whoa, though.
Yeah, that one was a little. That's a little tacked on, but especially because they started involving like Deep Ground with the DLC. I think it's important to whatever the overall vibes they're trying to do, which is basically like, hey, remember how we wrote a shitload of stuff like after 7 came out that probably should have come up in 7? What if we just made that come up now?
Yeah. Like, I will say, that got me completely by surprise. When I went there, I was all like, oh, okay, this is happening. This is how we're doing this.
But it does kind of make sense because, like, if you think about it, the random encounters in 7 were, like, almost nonsensical. Like, obviously there was the classic Hell House that they turned into a boss, but there's a lot of weird fucked up shit you can just fight in the slums under Midgar.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of random crap. And I believe that the game tried to explain it by, like, monsters are drawn to, like, either the Mako being sucked out of the earth or because there's so much Mako in the air because of the reactors or something.
Sounds like classic Shinra propaganda.
Yeah. But, like, the idea that, oh, yeah, no, there was just a secret lab that they're just crawling out of, that totally also makes sense because Shinra is terrible.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Though, like I said, it'll be really interesting to see how they build up. I presume how they will build up Reeves so that they can make Keiichi make sense. And they might not even make him be a properly playable character.
I'm gonna be real.
Recycle a gameplay mechanic from Dirge of Cerberus, where you actually do play as Keiichi for a couple of segments, but they're all stealth segments.
I'm not gonna be real. I'm pretty sure Keiichi was probably one of the least used characters in fucking the original 7.
Yeah, like, as a character, he's pretty important.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, he's secretly Reeve, the director of urban planning. That's, once again, one of those spoilers from, like, 25 years ago. It's not really a spoiler anymore. But, like, plot-wise, it is a big deal that he's part of the team and, like, has insider information and stuff and, like, can occasionally help you out with that stuff. So, like, obviously they're not going to skip him as a character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know. Like, listen, they have blown me away with how different all the player characters are in 7 Remake. Like, the stuff they did with Yuffie is amazing. Like, you haven't played the DLC yet, right?
No, I haven't. But you can go ahead and tell me.
Yeah, so I was going to say was that, like, Yuffie is a mixed melee ranged character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can use her special command to throw her shurikens at people, which will do, like, damage over time as it spins them. And then you can either, while her shuriken is away, she can do ninjutsu-based attacks as ranged, or you can press her special command to recover and grab her shuriken and get up close for melee combos. So, like, she has this amazing distance control gameplay that's totally unique. Additionally, her, like, special weapon skills, like, build up energy over time as you hit with ninjutsu combos, so you can do, like, her banishment special move, like, goes all the way up to, like, level 3. You can also do a special thing to change the element of her basic attack ninjutsus. So, like, there's a lot of depth to her character for a DLC that is, like, 4 or 5 hours long, tops, maybe? Probably.
Is it really that short?
Yeah, it's not that long.
Huh.
Like, I was able to get to the final boss fight, which I have not cleared yet, because he's bullshit. Fuck you, Nero. But it took me, like, 2 sit-downs. And that was when I spent my time doing the extra VR missions to unlock Rama and doing all the Fort Condor shit. Like, if you wanted to do just plot advancement, you could blow through that. There's no way it's 20 hours. Like, maybe if you wanted to, like, grind out Yuffie's level to max, I guess. But, like, no, if you wanted to just blow through story content, you could definitely do that in a couple hours easy. It's not that long.
Hey, they're doing it. I gotta get in on that.
But, so, like, that's really cool, right? Like, what they did. And obviously Red 13 wasn't playable because he's only accessible in, like, the last 4, 5 chapters of the game.
They really expanded Shinra Tower.
Yes. I mean, it makes sense. The tower is fucking 100 stories tall or whatever.
Yeah, I know. I'm not complaining about it, but it's one of those things, like the fucking drum, the barrel bits. Like, you can actually go in there, and that's a place. I was just like, you know, in hindsight, it makes sense that this thing is actually a thing, but until I actually got inside the thing, I didn't think about the thing, you know?
Yeah. Also, I'm not gonna say intergrade isn't worth, but the intermission is only worth like $10. It's a basic DLC cost.
Ah!
If you buy it, the intergrade, that is you get the next gen update and the whole thing, and the DLC. Like that's why it's there. It's because it's the PS5 version and the DLC package. If you don't already own the PS4 version in any way, in which case you just have to pay the $10 for the DLC like I did. But no, you should not. If you have already beaten Final Fantasy VII Remake and you don't need to play it again on a higher level difficulty, you should not necessarily pay $50 just to get the DLC. You should just buy the $10 effect or whatever.
Oh, excuse me.
But yeah, no, Shinra Tower was like, and I mean, there's some stuff that they kind of skipped. Like there were different weird side quests you did and characters you interact with that they kind of like skipped over or recontextualized. Like some of the floors were different, but the whole thing was just huge. The main diversion was the bit where you got blasted down into the basement, but the game has to like recontextualize the fact that you kind of know what's going on and things. So there's still a lot of fun stuff there.
Okay, I made it.
But yeah, and again, that's the kind of thing they're talking about. Like plot bites might be different, and what order you arrive in places, and how big they are might be different in future games. But yeah, no. So Red 13 was not available for a lot of the game, but I would assume he's going to be promoted to playable as like a starting character in the new game, because otherwise we're not going to have any new characters right away, probably. I do know that the Yuffie DLC ends with her like actively realizing she wants to like find our branch of Avalanche and like figure us out, because she meets a lot of supporting characters from the other branch of Avalanche who have disavowed us. Lucky, turns out they're camped out in Sector 7 like a stone's throw from 7th Heaven.
Ugh, and
they're in the basement of a storefront right in front of the item shop is the other branch of Avalanche.
That sounds slightly hilarious.
Yes, it's in the context of the intermission DLC, when you can literally walk past their headquarters, and it's set in the time just around the second bombing mission. You can walk past their headquarters to walk up the front steps of 7th Heaven. It's closed because Tifa's out, but Jessie is just camped on the front porch, drowning her sorrows, waiting for you to come play Fort Condor with her, because she's got her sprained ankle. And like that's literally how close they are. They're just hiding in front of the item shop, and they're just like, no, we don't talk to those other Avalanche. They're weird. And I'm like, you guys aren't weird? You guys are a little weird. But yeah, no.
Are they just a bunch of girls giggling? Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, what is happening over there?
Hold on, I'm waiting for the moment. Yeah, we're just having a fucking dance party.
See, I'm doing the thing where I went to the place where people are going to land, and I joined the others and welcoming them with a path of sparkles. This is an emo you can do. It's called like show left or show right. It's basically the Will Smith pose, you know?
Yeah.
And you put some sparkles out there, so it's fun when you get a bunch of people and make a corridor. But there is just a party going on over there.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna guess one person probably started dancing on that one pillar, and then just everybody was like, "Fuck it, we're dancing on pillars." Welcome to Final Fantasy XIV, everybody. Award-winning Final Fantasy XIV, playable free up to Heaven's Word?
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get out of here though.
Pretty fun. But yeah, no. So like, I believe the Yuffie DLC ends with her realizing she can't punch Shinra, because she came to Midgar to steal the huge materia, but it's not ready yet. Foreshadowing. So she sets out to actually find the Avalanche guy so she can join them. So I assume it will probably not end where she tries to like steal your pocket money in a forest. We may or may not. She may or may not try and boop us. I don't know for sure. We'll see. But like I don't think she will be a player character who starts right at launch, but I suspect, like I said, there will probably be we'll go to Calm, there'll be like some setup and recap stuff. We'll probably play out the flashback, Cloud's flashback, where It is entirely possible Sephiroth will be an NPC-only character. I kind of hope he's playable, but they might not. You can't actively swap to Yuffie's partner in the DLC, Sonon. You can give him orders, but you can't actively control him. So I suspect Sephiroth may actually be the same way. And then you'll do all that stuff, and that'll probably be, like I said, like a soft tutorial. Your levels will be fixed, and then the game will start proper. And Red 13 should be playable, and I don't know what the hell they'll do for him, right? I suspect probably, like, most of his moves were, like, his limit breaks and stuff were, like, the fangs, so I suspect that he might have a lot of, like, rushes or charges. That might be the way they kind of make him different from everybody. Because, like I said, everybody in 7 Remake plays, like, wildly differently. Like, Tifa is just a fighting game character. Like, you just set up your combos and then do your sequence and, you know, go through the moveset. Cloud is very much a traditional, like, hack-and-slash action RPG type character. It's not quite like Kingdom Hearts, but it's like, you know, you hit buttons and smash dudes and you can do some different, like, blocking and stuff. Barret is, you know, straight up ranged. Aerith is kind of magic ranged, you know. She gets to shoot little bungles from her boop stick.
Boop stick.
But she has a lot of her healing abilities and stuff. And I think it's just those 4 in the starting game.
Now that the more I talk about it, the more I want to go back and play some more. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do in it, but I'm like, I'm just going to play it.
Yeah, I've thought about... I mean, I got sucked into other games, but I do want to, at some point, probably before Reunion comes out, actually get in and, like, since I've got the full upgrade version, like, replay the game, like, probably start to finish and, like, get that experience again, because it's so phenomenal. It's such a great experience. It's great. Like I said, I know there are some people who are nettled about, ooh, plot changes. I don't... I was playing Final Fantasy VII as a small child, like... It was not in the 90s, but it was the early 2000s. Like, by the time I actually, like, went back and picked it up. But, like, there's nothing wrong with the game. It's fine. I'm also not going to say that Final Fantasy VII's writing was, like, perfect and unassailable. Like, I heard a summary of 7 Remake as a good, like, jumping on point if you're new to JRPGs and you don't know what to try. You know, try 7 Remake. It's, you know, critically acclaimed, really successful, very pretty, obviously, all that stuff. But, like, it has, like, the really good writing we're talking about, and it brought a lot of depth to characters like Cloud that were kind of under-nuanced in the original because the translation was a little spotty and the game just... everything was text boxes. There's only so much they could do for you, right?
Right.
And I do think that Remake really does recenter Cloud's, like, original characterization. Like... in Advent Children and a lot of later works, Cloud's really, we like to call him emo. Like, he's very sad and over-emotional. But that's because he's dealing with a lot of loss and shit that he can't really process. You know, the Cloud we meet in Remake is the classic Cloud, who is, like, he is very socially awkward, and he clearly has some baggage because of the brain fuckling. But, like... most of the time, he's just kind of like an overconfident, surly, you know, guy. Like, kind of a prick, but he's still cool. He can't high-five for shit. That's okay, Cloud. Lots of people fuck up the high-five. But, yeah, it's good. Rebirth will be great. And whenever they... I'm also not confident, especially because they've got so many bangers coming this year. I am not confident that the reunion, Crisis Core reunion, is gonna actually be like this year. Because I could easily see it being. You know, later, especially because that, you know, talking about Square Enix's great time going on, it continues because Forspoken was pushed to January.
Yeah.
So, they got a lot of stuffs, a lot of things.
I have been thinking I need to get like some sort of calendar though, and actually like mark down like games I'm interested in their actual release date, so I can plan accordingly.
Yeah, my main system is just right now. I because we're sub to the PlayStation channel, and now the Square Enix official YouTube channel is usually I see launch trailers, announcement trailers, etc. But not always, because sometimes there's a lot of other stuff going on.
Is that picking up? I bet it's picking up. Actually, I think my air's roomed out. My room has aired out enough. Hang on 1 second. I'm gonna go close my window.
He's gonna go close his window.
There, mute some of the outside noises because dogs refuse to be silent.
Dog.
Today was not an absolute scorcher of a day, so we just spent some time airing out the house and rooms to get some flow, remove some of the stagnant air. Oh, excuse me. Alrighty, so. And
retweeting something on Twitter.
Oh, Twitter.
But yeah, speaking about some game stuff, because the Let's Talk hasn't gone live, some of the stuff we discussed randomly in the FAF zone in there hasn't been hot yet, so we can discuss a few other things. You have confirmed you have ordered the Mega Man X collections.
Yes,
and they're coming.
Yes. It's actually quite nice. Let me pull up my order here. Your orders. Yes, thank you, Amazon. Arriving Monday, Mega Man X Legacy Collection 1 and 2, PlayStation 4 Standard Edition.
Yep.
Also order Judgment and Lost Judgment because I enjoy Yakuza. And don't you worry, guys. I'm gonna be all up on those Yakuza games when they hit. Or have they already hit? I don't know.
I do not believe so. Let me check.
See, that was July 7th. They said starting in August.
Yeah. Let me pull up the news. So they announced they will be adding 8 games. Tier depends. Is there a date?
Yeah, I don't see a date.
No, there's no date yet. I would probably assume sometime towards the middle of the month, kind of like what they did when they did that big batch when Stray dropped. But I don't know exactly when. Is there like a cool PlayStation release in August they can drop day and date?
I don't know. Let's see. PlayStation games releases August.
Like, obviously, like, it's with Stray, it doesn't have to be, like, a huge release, but...
Well, let's see. Oh, Jesus. No, I'm not going to disable my ad blocker. Fuck you.
Quiet, you.
Let's see here. No, it doesn't look like anything particular.
Yeah, so probably just whenever the fuck they feel like it. That's always a little disheartening, but, you know, at least we know that they've got the plans.
I do have a list, though. We got, like, Frogun on, like, we got, like, I did find, I guess this is a pretty good list here. Let's see. I was a teenage exocolonist? What? Excuse me, what? Hang on. This
yeah,
requires
I remember seeing that.
Oh, it's a deck building RPG. Interesting. Idol Manager.
A narrative RPG with card-based battles. Yeah, I remember seeing the trailer for this. If it's also coming to PlayStation, I may play it there.
Oh, Idol Manager. Guess it's making it jump to console. Ah, it's one of those types of games. Okay, neat. It's like in the same vein of Cyber Hive, except maybe a little bit more in depth. By the way, I did play Cyber Hive. I actually enjoyed it. It's a very zen game. The only problem is that it annoys me is that even though it has trophy, it doesn't show the trophies. So I feel like I'm missing out on my achievements, and I don't know what to do to get more achievements. So I'm very about it. Let's see, what else is coming on? What else is coming on? Soul Hackers 2, Destroy All Humans 2, Dust Diver, Inscription, Tinykin, the Messia, Slaycation.
Yeah, getting some console releases.
Yeah, let's see here. Cult of the Lamb. I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah, there's been some videos. You can find some out there. Looks like some fun little stuff for us. I did actually, in addition to some other things, because a lot of my my buying will come later this month. There was a sale on some Surviving Mars DLC. I haven't played it yet, but I have picked up some, including the Green Mars one, where you can terraform stuff. Because I love space, y'all. I just need a free Eventide to sit and do nothing else but make Mars green again.
Not gonna help it. I'm gonna keep yelling at you about Jinsekai.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so stream stuff. Lucky is got some the Mega Man X coming in, so that's good. That'll be a wide variety of those. We are about to start the final case on Great Ace Attorney 1 in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Now, while that might take us some time, though, I think I'll probably try and commit to going in stretches a little bit longer than 3 hours, assuming we don't constantly die doing voices. The last case in the game is usually the longest, so after that we'll be taking a break between starting the second game. I believe it was subtitled Resolve, but that'll be Lucky. We'll play Mega Man X1, which should take a couple of weeks, probably. Couple streamish.
Like I said, I will be accepting like background help, so I don't like necessarily miss things, so I don't have to backtrack. But it's only an intro, 8 stages, which honestly shouldn't take me that fucking long. Honestly, what's gonna kill me is fucking the Sigma stage.
Sigma, yeah. That'll be the main thing.
That's gonna slay me.
And there may or may not be a little bit of backtracking needed, depending.
Yeah. Like I said, I was able to do all that when I was fucking, 12. I can do it now. But even when I was 12, I could not beat the Sigma stages.
Yeah, nope, that's the same for me. I was always bad at the Robot Masters and Mavericks, easy peasy. Sigma and Wily stages, shit, dude.
Alrighty.
Sorry if I'm being a little quiet. Robin has delivered me the time codes for Let's Talk FGO.
Yay.
So I'll set that up. That'll, like I said, probably going hot, going live for public after we're
Thanks,
done
dude.
here.
I have to chase you so far that I got...
Oh, hey, Robin. What the fuck? Is that a huge-ass polar bear beating somebody's ass right now?
Yeah. There we go. Okay. I think I can get fucking under control again now. It's a fucking light bear. Basically.
Ah, the bear of light.
Yes. I say that, but it is technically a bear of light. Basically, in Endwalker, not Endwalker, in Shadowbringer, you basically travel to a world that has been filled with too much positive energy. And it's bad. You, literally, night does not fall in this land. So when you start doing, protagonist shit and, expanses of night start showing up, people are like, what the fuck? We haven't seen night in, 1,000 years. It's pretty good. Oh, awesome. My words got rid of Robin. This pleases me on 2 levels now.
Robin just does the dip.
Yep.
I don't know. I gotta be honest. If you're actively playing Final Fantasy XIV for the past several years, I don't know how you have spoilers, but I don't actually know the scale of the game's plot. It is an MMO, so I assume there is a decent amount of fluff time in there, and obviously you can easily get distracted by gold saucers. You do in literally every Final Fantasy game and just fuck around doing chocobo races and earning emotes rather than actually advancing main story. We know what's up, guys. We all know. But, stretching my bones. I'm just going to mention this about stream stuff. So that's our immediate plans. And then if you guys are hyped for that.
Run button me.
Well, I mean, like he's talking about an expansion, so. Technically talking about expansion content, like story stuff, would be spoilers. But again, I'm like, if you've been playing Final Fantasy XIV, how?
God damn it.
Not in the juice in the caught up. Is it that long? Who knows? Anyway, Lucky's getting bullied by bears.
Well, my tank is fucking a sprout and doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
Correct.
So I'm trying to keep him alive.
It's important.
I am not good at this shit. Yeah, this guy's taking way too much fucking damage.
Is he forgetting to tank properly, or do you think he's just, like, undergoosed, undergassed?
I'm not sure.
There are a variety of ways in MMOs that you can fuck up.
Well, they died because the tank fucking died. Like, I gotta check his fucking item level. Like, there's something weird here. I don't know what it is. God, I literally can't leave him alone for like a minute before. Oh, he's not using any fucking cooldowns. That's why. You little shit.
Push button.
Push other buttons besides attack. You're a
got
gun.
a shitload of buttons. You should push all of them. Actually, that's a good question. I suspect in most MMOs, pushing all your buttons is better than pushing none of your buttons.
Yes.
Chat, let me know. What do you think? Do you agree? Because, like, yes, that means you can fuck up an ability and, like, mistime your big stuff or whatever and get caught on cooldowns or whatnot. But if you're not pushing any buttons, that means you're just hitting the attack button, which is okay, but, like, you got to put some stuff in there. You got to get a little juice in there. Anyway, this kind of stuff reminds me, though, talking about future stuff. So, if you guys are interested in it, and let me know, like, and if you're still hyped for it, we will probably, after Mega Man X1, rotate back to Great Ace Attorney, and try to get as much of Great Ace Attorney 2 done. We may or may not take a break in there somewhere, depending on where the timelines line up for the next Plato Requiem. Because that is, as we mentioned earlier, coming out in October. That can be our spooky game for this season, even though there's like 9 million spooky games we could play.
Okay, we're at a boss now. This should be easier, because I don't have to worry about everything. Fuck. Sorry, I really don't like playing a healer because I don't like necessarily being responsible for other people's mistakes. Because that's what healer is ultimately do. When other people fuck up, it's your job to fix it. I'm just like, I'm not about that life. I'm really not.
Healers adjust. That's interesting, actually. So I can bring up, because we were talking about hypothetical stuff. I was going to segue into some things. I can talk about some stuff. I've mentioned to Lucky, and I think it was a little off mic. I don't think I was on mic yesterday on Let's Talk. But among many, many other projects, I've got a lot of stuff going on, you know, that I think about. You know, we've talked about various things. Like, at some point, probably when we've got a couch all together, we can do it. At some point, though, I want to do I don't know. The PlayStation screen sharing is usually pretty lossless. I want to do a big, like, Kingdom Hearts retrospective, which I would prefer Lucky be in the driver's seat for because of our different experiences playing KH3. Which is mainly that I played story so far first and did all the shit, and then I played 3, and I was like, damn. And I know some people did not, and 3 hit differently.
Yes.
So that's something I want to do. We love Metal Gear so much. I would love to do like a dedicated Metal Gear retrospective. Possibly even like if we can dig them up somewhere. I don't know where they're accessible, like the actual original Metal Gear games.
I mean,
I'm sure those are available in some storefront.
Oh, well, I'm pretty... Again, if I can get, like... I did figure out my PS3. I do believe you can still buy the Legacy collections, and that has codes for... Actually, I don't know if those codes are still valid, actually, now that I think about it.
Well, they might be, because I believe that... I think Konami finally relisted all the games. There's no, like, new-gen versions of the Metal Gear games, but they are relisted on storefronts because they cleared up that licensing issue with some of the stock footage.
Like, I can figure it out. Like, I would say use my own legacy, but I just looked at it and I realized that I'm literally missing one of the discs. I'm like, I have no idea where this went.
Oof.
So I have to buy a new copy of it anyway. So I will.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
And honestly, we could. What we're really probably holding out hope for is like, hey, Konami, can you remove your head from your ass, or like actually pay Kojima the royalties or whatever you need to, and like just re-release Metal Gear Solid games in HD, please. Okay,
It'd be great.
No, almost nobody can play Metal Gear Solid 4 anymore, and that number is going to go down because the number of PS3s that function in this universe only goes down from here. Entropy will eventually catch up.
Yeah,
so,
that dude
like
just took fucking half his fucking one. That doesn't happen. That is not supposed to happen, you asshole.
No, you're supposed to tank. The part of being a tank is you take less damage. But another one is, I've also said I want to do a big like Halo retrospective with Lucky.
Yeah, that's probably gonna
stream Lucky's POV.
On
that front, I will say, I'm not. Again, that's literally that one is just waiting on like me getting a decent computer so I can run all the Halo games. And I will say, I'm definitely like, I know I could just get parts and upgrade this machine possibly, but I'm starting to get, not all the time, but I'm starting to sometimes get a little pissed off at my current desktop. I have this current annoying thing where the built-in Dell software is sending me these very annoying notifications about, hey, find out how much your PC is worth on the trade-in, because I've had it for like 3 years, and they're like telling me I should buy a new one. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know what kind of mind state I'm going to be in if I were to get like new RAM and up the power supply and whatever and all that stuff, get a GPU sent to me. And like go through that process, and then that doesn't work for some reason. I'm not going to be in a good way. So I'm thinking I may just budget a new machine anyway. Hopefully, still can like get a GPU on the sly from somebody who's got a spare one on the DL. Haven't followed through on that one because not to call anybody out, but my contact there had COVID. And then now is embroiled in a battle with the United States Postal Service. So,
yeah.
I mean, my PC doesn't hate that stuff. It's just that for some reason I have noticed there is a RAM creep. Like, Chrome always takes as much juice as you can get it, so that's what I'm used to. But like, I have noticed that, like, because I do actually have these problems sometimes. I like open up Task Manager and follow. Discord seems like it opens more processes and uses more memory these days. Like, I'm not sure what it is. I have had some real humdingers of doing certain uploads on Patreon. They recently changed their website interface, and sometimes when I upload audio, I get like the tab in Chrome will crash because it says out of memory, and I'm just like, okay, so your demand has gone up. So like, I need more juice. And I'm like I said, I'm not averse to figuring out how to upgrade my machine. It's just that like, if that somehow fucks up, I'm not going to be in a good way at this state because like I said, I'm starting to get annoyed with this old clunker. It's been a workhorse for many years, and it was a big improvement over the previous toaster I owned. But I need a new toaster. So like I said, I'm thinking I'm probably going to try and figure out a reasonable priced new machine for like, not cutting edge gaming. Again, like I said, probably try and see if I can still swing that spare GPU somebody's got. Yeah, you got a whole complex going on. So like, if we're still okay for that, I'd probably like budget without that. But like, that means I need to make sure I budget enough power supply to run that machine, that unit. Make sure I've got enough room in the case and all that stuff. I don't think anybody understands why that story. That's not my story to tell, but one of the people in our community has a hell of a story about the whole their quest for Xenoblade 3 and how it's been going. And like, it's not been going well, and it's weird and wild and wacky. So, like, that's a whole thing. And like I said, it's not my story to tell, but that is wild. I don't think anybody could have predicted that. But yeah, like I said, the main thing I think I need more RAM. I need a bigger power supply so that I can run a GPU. I don't think technically, for my purposes, it matters much like how good it is. Like, obviously, I shouldn't buy a crappy one, but just in general, having the separate dedicated graphics processor is something I need so that I can render video easier and like have my computer divide work, because that's how a lot of modern computers are designed to do. They're designed to do some of the work on your graphics processing unit and some of it on your CPU. And I have just, you know, internal chipsets. I've got just like an Intel built-in graphics card, not a proper GPU. So like I said, I think I need to budget a new tower. I'll probably be thinking about that. I may ask the community pressing questions about, like, you know, pick your own parts or whatever deals, whatever the best thing to get something. Yeah, I'd say, like, obviously, like I said, now my process is expanded from just figuring out new juice for the this machine to like buying and ordering a whole new machine, but I probably would still take the free GPU if I can. If you don't mind sitting on it, like, obviously if it's sucking up space somewhere, it's fine, but if it's free, it's for me. Heard that on the internet somewhere. But this has been a long diatribe about my computer slowly losing its mind with me. Possibly because of some secret Illuminati conspiracy by Dell to make me buy a new computer.
Completely possible.
I'm not normally conspiracy minded, but the fact that my computer is running crappier and the fact that Dell now sends me these annoying little messages about trade, and I'm just like, don't like it. No, sir. But like there are a lot of series I want to do, but one of those ideas I had to tie it all back together was, I've been thinking for a while, I've mentioned this before, of a probably stream series where I would try the award-winning Final Fantasy XIV. I've never played it in any format, probably mostly because I, you know, haven't had good PCs for forever. Always been kind of like bootstrapping based on whatever I got lying around and whatever is not too expensive. And, you know, it's got a pretty extensive free trial. And I have played some... Well, yeah, the problem is I don't know what my budget is. I don't know what the budget of PC parts is these days. I don't really make an excessive amount of money doing this, y'all. Like, I'm not starving in the street, but I know sometimes the numbers, they add up for PCs, so...
God, I think the PC I bought, like the one I am, where I'm running, you know, Final Fantasy, 14 at 60 FPS, it was like $800.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's probably reasonable within my budgetary constraints.
Like, you know, having cutting edge shit is cool and stuff, but you don't need cutting edge shit for, you know, day-to-day stuff, man. You really don't.
And also, like I said, I know I'm behind the curve. My current PC tower is like 3-ish years old at this point, so like anything that is an improvement over this will be an improvement. I just want to make sure I do the right improvement, because like I said, this tower had some unfortunates, like I said, with, like, you know, I skimped a little on the power supply and the RAM and stuff, and I probably should have, you know, budgeted up a little bit more. But I can work with a little wiggle room, and obviously with your ongoing support via Patreon and YouTube memberships. That is actually true, by the way, but also, you know, the funny shilling, haha.
Ha 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 ha.
But yeah, so like that's an idea I've had for a while that would not be PC reliant, because I would play on PS5. I think the big thing, other than just I feel like I don't have the time to like set up and think about that kind of thing, is I mean, obviously it would be an experiment. That's why I would start with the free trial, because I do not know if I would actually be in it for like the whole deal. I know there are some people who are like, I don't normally play MMOs, but I'm fine with 14, you know, stuff like that. And I have enjoyed some MMO type games. Lucky and I waxed poetic about ye old RuneScape for a little bit on Friday night.
Excuse me.
Which I did actually play a lot of. Though part of that was because you know, me and my little neighborhood friends would, you know, all play it and talk about it. And it was back in the dial-up days, so we had to make sure nobody would be on the phone to play RuneScape. And I have made several characters in the Old Republic. My main problem with the Old Republic is, like, you know, good old whatchamacallit, you know, BioWare writing, good, you know, all the fun stuff. The art style works and whatever. Writing was really good, and like I didn't really object to the gameplay anyway. And you get to do some fun things in the low levels. My main issue was I would always get as far in my Tor character as clearing the starter planet for whatever class you played. And then I would get to the space station, and it would be like, look at all the MMO stuff you can do. Look at all the stuff you can do. What's that? You're not paying? You're not an active member? You're on the free trial? What's that? You don't have any friends? Well, you can't do any of this stuff. Fuck you. Go on to the next planet. I'm just like, okay, all right. You've MMO'd me very hard here, BioWare. I don't really know if 14 has that kind of like hard jump to like, hey, here's all of the MMO things you can do.
Well, I
You
mean,
can join weird mini games and you know,
like right now,
here's all
I'm
these weird vendors.
I don't know. Like I said, I can't say I've actually ever been in the free trial part of it. And as for the MMO things, like it's like I'm running around with 3 randos right now, so meh.
Well, yeah, no, you can't. You can freely matchmake. That is something I know. That's good for me. That's usually how I play. I played a fuck ton of the first Destiny, absolutely just matchmaking queue. I would have done fucking Destiny raids with a matchmake queue, y'all, if Bungie would have let me. It probably would have been terrible, but I would have done it. So, like, that's something I'm okay with.
I can literally
like,
barely keep this dude alive. It is hurting me on a spiritual level.
Yeah, that's a terrible shame. It kind of hurts me a little bit too. Like, so that's another thing to bring up. The other concernicus is with long-term play is because the game has been through a few expansions. I would not be able to play my preferred class and race right out the gate in the free trial version because this should shock nobody. But hey, do you want to know what Omega's preferred combo would be? Viera Red Mage. I have been standing this since the Game Boy Advance. And those both require expansions. I did actually double check this, Lucky.
Oh, okay.
You have to be level 50 and have Stormblood to play Red Mage.
Ah.
So the main thing would be, since that would be my end game goal, I know you start with you start at lower tier classes and then level up to the proper jobs. Like you don't start Paladin, you start what's the job? Gladiator, I think?
Yes.
Yeah, and then work towards it. So my main thing would be like I would have to, find a class that would be something I could play to level up, knowing that I'm going to switch jobs. And we could see what that is. And funnily enough, I was thinking it could even be not White Mage, but the one that starts that. What is that? Conjurer?
Conjurer, yes.
Yeah. Because I've talked a little. I have actually played a decent amount of hours in the original Overwatch, and I personally was always the guy who I would see the game tell us not enough tanks, need healers, need less healers, and I would switch. I was always that guy. Like, I'd be like, the game's telling us our tactics are wrong. So I have spent some time playing some healers for dumb fucks, randos on the internet. I have, and not like none of that like baby Lucio, like, oh, I can DPS as a healer. No. I would get out there and play Mercy, y'all.
I was a Mercy main.
Yeah. It's very rewarding, but also sometimes your team are dumb fucks. So like I could see myself playing healer. I know that because you have to level grind, there are damaging abilities even for healing classes.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, like there's still some variables and stuff out there I'd have to figure out. And like I said, there's caveats to this green experiment, to just man plays blind on PlayStation.
I mean, I probably
go ahead.
It's like I probably wouldn't leave you to your fate alone. Like, I'm not gonna say that the first main story is bad per se, but it is usually considered one of the weakest parts of the experience.
Mm-hmm.
And like they've had to actually go through several reworks of a Realm Reborn story to streamline it and not make it as chunky, I guess I'll say.
And you've got how many expansions does the game have? I think I asked this question earlier.
I think we're on our 5th one right now.
Yeah.
Technically?
Yeah.
Because technically a Realm Reborn is an expansion.
That means that you've got like 5 blocks of content you want the players to get to after the original Realm Reborn content.
Why are we leaving him? You asshole!
Don't let him stand in the mechanic. Unless he's a black mage, then you leave him to your fate. I've watched
God
memes
damn you fucking stupid ass.
Matchmaking, everybody. Holy shit, that's a big square.
This tank's fucking new.
And the game does warn you to let you know that he is a babu.
Yes.
Though actually, like, tell me if this meme is correct. Like I said, I've seen some memes. I have actually heard a argument from people in a meme way, so I don't know if it's true, that mentors are actually shittier players than Sprouts are.
Oh yes, the Burger King crown is a lie.
Okay, yeah, I thought so, but
well,
I wanted to bring that up.
Well, it's because to get a mentor crown, you have to do a fuck ton amount of content, and I mean a fuck ton amount.
Mm-hmm.
And so people usually who have that crown are more concerned about you know, clearing content fast than they are about actually teaching people.
Yeah.
So they go.
Whereas at least with a Sprout, you understand this person has no idea what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, no. Like, I'm calling this man stupid, but I don't actually think they're stupid. I think they're just fucking new. If I had this person in the voice...
What class is he even playing? I can't tell from this distance.
He's playing a Gunbreaker, which is my personal favorite tank class, by the way.
It seems pretty hype.
You basically get Squall's Gunblade. That's your weapon. And it does explosions.
Also, you have I believe you have a lot of lion-themed attack names.
Yes.
For some reason. I wonder why that is.
Alright. I'm trying to keep this.
Honestly, from like I said, I've seen some like videos describing like different classes and stuff. Like, all of them seem pretty rad. I know that there are some, like, there was a whole like meme video I watched about how Black Mage has a like low skill floor, high skill ceiling. You can be a very, very dog shit Black Mage in this game and really fuck it up. But if you're a good Black Mage, you are like one of the best damage dealers in the game. That's why I made the joke about standing in the mechanic. Leave your Black Mages to die, allegedly. It's fine. They love it. They love it. They live in the ley lines. They love it. But, like, all the classes seem really rad. It's just that you guys should, again, you should know that, like, the Red Mage with the rapier and the red and the hat. Also, that's something that always appeals to me. Red Mages, I believe they're fairly unique in 14 and are usually very unique because they actually are utility characters. They're not necessarily the best at DPS, though they do that, but they can also do reses and heals.
Yes. It makes me cry. They actually have a decent heal, which is what my preferred DPS class Summoner lacks. Summoners can raise as well.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But
and
we can't...
Red Mage, I believe they were the main ones that could.
Yeah, but we don't have our heal. Summoner's heal is just basically our old Arcanist heal, and it has no scaling. So it's a little shit.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point they didn't maybe rework that a little.
Nah, I doubt it. Summoner's gone through like 3 reworks, and that shit has been the same the entire fucking time.
Okay, so they're probably committed to like, nah, guys, you just aren't as good at healing.
Yeah, no. I hate it, but them's the breaks.
Hey, sometimes it do be like that.
Oh, we spinning. Oh, lordy, we spinning.
But what I was going to say earlier was, I think the thing I'm waiting on for this project idea, you know, because again, this would be a stream series as well, you know, to get everybody in on the vibes and see what's up. Because doing stuff as a team, as a squad, you know, adds extra levels to it.
I mean, if you were to do this, I would join you on that journey.
Yeah. So that you know, that would probably help a lot. Like I said, I played a shitload of RuneScape as a kid, and I don't think it was really that interesting. I think it was just the first game I played where I could level up my rock picking and logging skills so I could learn how to burn new types of logs so I could cook fish and steak. You do be like that sometimes. We also did other stuff. There was some fun, weird shit there. But anyway, I partially did that because I had other friends who were into it. But the thing I would be waiting for is probably, I should say good start point is a proper, like, official PS5 version. I do believe the PS5 is in beta, but it does not like officially have a PS5 release yet. So that would be the window, the strike zone of this hypothetical plan I was thinking about. Because like I said, I've been doing a little bit of research. I'm doing my prep work. And if it keeps me out of it, whatever, then it's bad. But honestly, I kind of feel like, at least for like main stuff, like I might be one of those people who like plays all the story content and then is just like, nah, I'm not gonna resub. I don't know if it'll keep me in the MMO grind every day, but I kind of get the feeling that, especially with like, if Lucky and some of the other boys on the server is along for the ride, if Chad is along for the ride, I can probably stick out through some of the story stuff and some of the grind. We'll see. There's a lot of memes and stuff to be had there.
Yes, they are.
The other kind of idea in this vein I had that I don't know when, and I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this, chat, is I also broached, because I know that there is a lot of crossover. There's like, obviously VR were included in 14, and they've actually like done some dungeons and quests and stuff designed after Final Fantasy 12 things.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can fight Yzmat in 14. I do have an old Zodiac Age stream playthrough that was me solo that I never did finish. I got like, maybe a third of the way through the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually know if I got that far. But that was several years ago at this point, and we were doing things differently. Like I said, it was solo. I was just doing it on my own for funs on my stream day, not Wombo Combo. So if you guys are interested, I believe, Lucky, you said it's been a while since you played 12.
Oh yeah, and like I said, I've never beat it. I don't actually know the story beats.
Yeah. So and there is actually, like, to Zodiac Age, there is like a lot of extra content with like the different job boards and stuff you can pick. So and like actually having classes. Ooh. And like, so I wondered if that could be like another series if people are down to clown, because obviously JRPGs are fairly chunky. It's just that obviously I think we've learned a lot from other stuff, and we would probably apply what we have been calling the Bloodstained method, which is just, I would probably mainline the game because I have played so many hours in that game. Oh my god. I had a save file corrupt, I think, the very first time I played 12, like 60 or 70 hours.
Oh shit, it's
in,
Byakko
start
time.
From scratch. Oh. Here we go.
Look at this absolute ripped man with a dragon head for an arm. I mean, a tiger.
Yeah. No.
Like I said,
there's a lot of great character design in 14.
Oh, this one actually has a very fun mechanic that I really like. I'll shout it out when it happens.
All right, I'll make sure to look. But yeah, so like I've played a lot of 12, and I've played a decent chunk of Zodiac Age because I like played it in my free time and then also streamed it. And I was thinking already about going back and playing it, but I was debating if, like I said, if the audience is down to clown with it, like doing that as a stream with Lucky, and I would just, rather than do what I did previously on stream, which is I would do the exploits of just running in loops around Damaska Esther's like talking with chat, which has its own appeal but can be a little boring sometimes. We would probably stick to on stream doing like major Mark Hunt's optional bosses and story beats like on screen, and then off screen I would do all of the grinding and leveling and the item farming for drops or rare chests and shit, like on my own time, because I am an absolute madman. And also, the Gambit system is fucking amazing.
The Gambit system is fucking amazing.
I'm so sad that a very number of people were unfortunately very loudly butthurt about 12, that 13's like combat system was like completely different.
I don't understand what they were butthurt about. I really don't.
Well, at the time, talking about kind of that like that kind of like smug separation, like people were upset at 12 because they were like, oh, it's like a single player MMO. And me, I'm like, but I love that about it. Like, it doesn't have at the time, the like really slow, nickel and dimey system that a lot of MMOs had. We just talked about how like old school WoW had like really long stuns and shit. Like that's what was up at the time. I love the fact that it was that style, because like I've always been like, a podcast and audiobook guy. So, though, of course, the soundtrack in 12 is fucking amazing. But anyway, the fact that like you could set up your character's gambits so that you didn't have to micromanage your party. You could pre-micromanage everybody and just have them do stuff, and like, and it naturally grows as you get better. Like, I remember playing the game, growing from like the really basic bitch shit, like, okay, if you're under, 50% HP, cast Cure, to the shit like, oh, right, I have so much MP now that I can just, yeah, well, stream design, it probably would be an entire stream design at Yzma. That's a long-ass fight. I'm trying to remember if I've ever actually cleared Yzma in my real life. But, the fact that I could go like, oh shit, right, I have so much MP, I can actually afford to have a gambit which is just dedicated to, hey, you, constantly cast Protega and Shelga. If we don't have Protector Shell, cast it. Like, I love that kind of stuff, like, because it is a gradual growth with your characters unlocking new abilities and unlocking new gambits, but you don't have to micromanage. You can just be like, fiddle all this stuff. And I think it's still very balanced with the Zodiac Age base, which is based on the international version, because you have to set the two. You do get 2 jobs in Zodiac Age, but you have to set which job board you use, so you are actually like limited in what kind of equips you can get and what kind of abilities you can learn.
Oh yeah, here comes the mechanic. I love it.
All right. I will tab over back and watch.
Yeah, remember, this is an MMO, and we're about to just go... up... And yeah, we're gonna do a fucking freefall section.
Yeah, you know, just mid-boss fight. We're just gonna freefall.
And guess what? It's bullet hell now! Well,
I mean, you know, it's one of those things where like you think about it and you're like, honestly, this doesn't seem that weird, because most MMOs have classically had like fall damage and stuff. You know, they've had, you know, the big open world areas you can fall off cliffs and shit. So like, why not have a boss that can just make a big area for you to fall down? But yeah, no, this is pretty cool.
It's like, in the dungeons, you don't necessarily see as much of the craziness, but the trials, which are basically just you just fight a boss, they come up with like some of the craziest fucking shit.
Yes. And I mean, we've all, I think we've even done it on stream. You know, there's that one fight with Susanoo where somebody has to get in the zone and block the sword.
Yeah.
You know, active time maneuver stuff. Like, they're very creative with these.
Ow.
But yes, so chat and other people watching later, let me know if you would be down to clown with JRPG streams. And, you know, like I said, do some highlights on like 12 or something. Obviously, we're not exactly hurting for stream content. It has taken us a couple of months to work through Great Ace Attorney. We will be taking a break for Mega Man X, at least X1. Probably pivot back to Great Ace Attorney 2 just to keep that wrapped up. And like I said, I've seen the first case of Game 2. It is phenomenal. I cannot wait to get there with Lucky and y'all, if you don't know. And you know, work through the steez. And I think we're fairly good to commit to like I said, probably sometime in October we'll probably be streaming the new Plague's Tale. We had some fun with that one the first time around.
Oh, I did, definitely.
I don't know if Lucky wants to, you know, blind stream that, or if you'd want to play it first and then do again.
I could probably blind stream. Oh shit. I could probably blind it.
Okay.
Exactly.
And then go ahead.
I'm about to say, that means I probably won't, you know, advance as quickly, but
that's okay. I mean, it can't be any worse than the parts that even though you knew it was coming, you couldn't advance quickly because the game was bullshit.
Oops.
How many fucking times did you get murdered in that cart?
It was a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's what we do. We play games for fun. All games are fun. Also, I mean, you know, like he's gonna play Mega Man X1. There's gonna be some shit.
I will be screaming.
That's some Super Nintendo stuff. We're gonna be. It'll be the pivot between, you know, some amazing kills and some obvious cat jams. You know, jamming out because that's right, for the original X is classic. But you know, there'll be some bullshit. It's an old school Nintendo platformer. But also, I should point out that it may be that we end up doing kind of what we did before, which is if we, depending on how many weeks it is. Actually, I'm okay waiting because I'll do it on stream. November, obviously, that is God of War Ragnarok, so that will mean Dad of Boy will return, as we said it would when I finished my God of War playthrough. But like I said, stream-wise, if that lines up, I'm okay with that because I'll be mainlining that. Lucky can you know, binge the game in his off time, as I'm sure he will. I'm glad we'll be visiting more realms. I am deeply disappointed we have to go back to Alfheim.
It's probably not going to be as bad this time.
God, I hope not.
No, it's gonna be worse. Watch.
It was so dark. It was so dark, and the enemies were so annoying.
Oh shit. Ah, people are getting blown the fuck up.
Circles, orbs, circles, beams.
Oh, someone using the...
But yeah, so like I said, we've got a pretty tight schedule on streaming for the rest of this year for sure, probably. We'll do what we can where we can, but we're glad to have you guys show up for anything, and we do occasionally like your feedback about stuff.
We did it! Yay! Silent Bramble, you were good. Thank you for... Yeah. Yes. I got a player comm, yay. Yeah, to get the Mentor's Crown you were talking about, you have to get 1,500 commendations, which are basically good job tokens at the end of a dungeon.
Yeah, you get a little thumbs up.
Yeah, basically. Let me check my reputation. I got 1,085, and I've been playing this game for like several years. The thing is like I usually play DPS, and no one wants to thank the DPS. Never. They always thank the tank or the healer. Ever since I actually started picking up more of them, though, I have been getting them a bit better. I would like to have the Burger King crown, just to show it off, and maybe be a decent mentor. I would love to do that.
Honestly, I think that kind of just goes to like just the way the weird social hierarchy that exists in MMO. You've got the classic triangle: tank, healer, DPS. Sometimes utility or support or other weird shit is in there. But like, if you think about it, if a healer's not doing his job right, you're dead. You're literally you die. Nobody heals you when you die because I'm pretty sure most MMO boss fights and like dungeons and raids and stuff are not designed for you to get through without something hitting you at some point. So if your healers are bad, and if they're really good, oh hey, we're all still alive and we're all not dying. And obviously, as we just discussed with that tank who did not know what he was doing, being a tank is important, and you got to like follow through with what you got going on, and stuff. So, there's plenty of what should we call it, like room there. But DPS is like everybody's just like, oh, you just do damage. And so I can see why players would not gravitate towards, yes, that DPS guy sure did big number. That really saved my bacon when he did big number to a guy.
No.
Digimon? But talking about like the Digimon, what is it?
Survive 2. I think it was.
Yeah, Survive.
Or was it Survive or Survive 2? I can't remember.
I can't remember. It's something like that. As you can evidence by the fact that I can't remember the title, probably not. I've never really tried a lot of Digimon games. I know some people enjoy them. I do think there's been some like graphical issues and glitches in it as well.
Oh.
I mean, it is a strategy RPG, but I've already got a million of those to play.
Honestly, as much as I have fond memories of Digimon back in the day and whatnot, I have my preferred ones. I put it in the same box as Pokemon and the Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff. It's like, there's just so much of it, and I'm just like, I can't wrap my head around every little thing. I'm
still, like, obviously in on a couple of those. Like, I'm down to clown with Pokemon Scarlet. Professor Unga Bunga, I'm there.
It's like, I have enough time trying to wrap my head around Gundam nowadays, because I do love me some giant fighting robots.
Yeah, that's one of those things that, like, never really bit me.
Yeah. And it's like, I can't
say I like giant robots, but, like, the continuity commit and, like, understanding, we have a very, as you might expect, we have a very big vocal Gundam fan base in our community, and they yell about, like, Gunpla and stuff all the time, and I'm just like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I know, and I feel that way too, but, like, when I see, like, a new Gundam movie or a new Gundam series, I get hype about it. Like, I'm excited about Witch from Mercury, and I'm still waiting for the second part of, what is it, Narrative? Because that movie was just so good.
I would be interested in what... I mean, like, I have actually sat through and watched all of Iron-Blooded Orphans, and I believe... Is Witch from Mercury just the same team, or is that set in the same universe?
I'm not sure.
Trying to remember. I remember there were some comparisons to IBO when the very first trailers of Witcher Mercury came out. I'm just like, I'm trying to remember if it was the actual, if it's supposed to be the same continuity, because goddamn, Gundam and their fucking alternate universes and timelines.
It is much a pain. It is very much a pain. That's why I have troubles with it. But I like Gundam, and I want to keep watching more Gundam.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. That kind of reminds me, like, with Digimon, I'm in a very similar boat to you, where it's just like, yeah, I watched a couple when there were some seasons on the TV. You know, I vaguely remember the first and second anime. I definitely watched all of the third series, Tamers, and then Frontiers, the fourth one.
Oh, Hathaway, you're right. Thank you.
Yeah. But after that, I just kind of like fell off, and there wasn't anything to really get me going about it. So it's just like other series kept coming out, and I'm not watching Saturday morning cartoons no more. So it was like, shit, dude, I can't follow.
Sports.
And like, I will say, for a while, Yu-Gi-Oh was like that for me. Like I was like, I remember that as a kid. The card game was cool. I never really forgot. And then like, much like a lot of people, especially during the pandemic, like hobby stuff swelled. There's a lot more content on the internet, and I got kind of sucked back in. By the way, in case you're wondering, there was no prog this week. Some of the boys were sleepy. We did not do it. We will do it next week. And Robin will have to figure out a new deck to make because he was going to miss this week.
Mm-hmm.
Ha 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 ha. But yeah, so I have no particular reason one way or another to try out Survive. I know Loth's been playing it. I'll ask him if he's having a good time. Not always a perfect barometer, but sometimes. I know Loth plays a lot of simulation games like I do. He's a fan of the oxygen not included, for instance.
I think he likes it just because it's goofy.
Well, it is kind of weird, but I do think he actually, like... Because I know he's talking about playing, like, City Skylines before and stuff, too. Which is a game I purchased on a Steam sale, and I bought several DLC for, and I have yet to boot up on this computer. Someday I'll be in a mood. That's another thing that I've been watching a few of is, I think I mentioned it last week, but there's a YouTube channel, Ambiguous Amphibian, who does weird simulation game videos. Like, he's done some weird Sims 1 stuff that's like, that's such a throwback for me. I had the Sims 1 complete collection with all the discs. God, so many discs. Oh, my God. That was my jam back in the day.
Oh. I gotta turn on my AC. It's starting to warm up again.
Oh, well, that's rip for you. It's finally starting to cool off here. It's 9:30 at night, and it's a lovely, crisp, cool 82 degrees Fahrenheit.
Jesus.
And clear.
If I wasn't full screen, I could see my damn temperature, but it doesn't show on my second monitor.
Yes, the second monitors are weird sometimes.
It is currently 80 degrees where I am. All that heat from the residual heat from the sun just hanging in there. Bacon.
As it do.
Please not near. Please not near. It's the Oberon Monastery. Speaking of evilly inspired raids. Is this Yeah, I do believe this is the one where I fight Yzmat.
Oh, sick. You've also got some more lads and ladettes this time.
Yep, this is the Alliance Raid. The Alliance Raid is where, like the PvP I was talking about, where they take 3 groups of 8, and everyone goes. Yeah, look at that old Final Fantasy crystal there.
Yep. That is a 12-ass crystal. There are definitely several video game series or entries that are just like, they have all the like MMO style gameplay and tropes, but they are still single player. It's kind of an interesting niche. The main thing is that because they're intended as single player experiences, you don't usually get the same sort of grind set as like some MMOs have had.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no need to be like, yes, develop your again, I'm just going to go back to RuneScape. Develop your logging skill so you can cut more expensive logs. They make campfires for longer. Like, some of that stuff is usually cut down. Not obviously the, like, class grinding necessarily, but it's an interesting area. You can do a lot of fun there. Oh. Sorry if my mic is creaking. I'm leaning back in my chair.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting low, y'all. I have extended my legs in parallelogram to the ground. So everybody at home, make sure to go ahead and take a stretch. I'm gonna actually loosen up my mic stand just a tiny bit because it seems a little tight. Don't want to break anything.
Please no break.
If you break things, that means I gotta replace them.
More money.
And that's no good. But I think we can spend some time talking about some other stuff as well. Probably a big one for us, the Gensekai. We're actually playing it. It happened.
Yay! A
and
game.
You guys are watching it.
A game 2 years in the making.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. The actual game rules, definitely. But yes, the first episode of the AP is up. Quite a few people have been watching it. I hope you enjoy. Also consider, like I said, dropping by and supporting us on Patreon to get the audio. You know, it was a little treat. But yeah, it's been going pretty well. Which is good, because we'll be, at least for this first round of play testing, I've got a few more quests to do. So we'll be doing, you know, it for a few weeks, I think.
Yeah, you say you got like 3 quests?
Yeah.
Yeah, after those 3 quests, I'll probably want us to pivot a little bit and do some, and do some wild talents, so you can have some time to, you know, think on stuff you want to do. And
yeah, I'll probably, after the end of the 3 quests, quiz you guys about, like, what sort of direction you think sounds cool, and then just have you meander in a new way and come up with some new quests.
Yep.
Work on some player character backstory. But yeah, so overall, the game went pretty well, as evidenced by the fact that, as is usual for, us playing the Genesis-style rule, the narrative dice system anyway, but also just us, you know, we spent, like, the first hour shopping.
As we do.
Eating, shopping. So, you know, it was good, but there were actually cleared, you know, 2 whole combats in there and did some exploring and stuff, so I think it worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was fine. I mean, obviously, you know, not only do we have the Gensekai equivalents of Sprouts. We've got some people who've never played Genesis before, so there's some growing pains there. But it still doesn't matter because we are all terrible at dice all the time. I'm fairly certain on my own end there was at least one roll where I audibly said, "Oh, yeah, forgot to add a bonus to that guy. Whatever, too late now." Lucky, I believe you mentioned that you realized afterward that you were doing your casting dice pool wrong because you had more willpower than you thought. So yeah, like we've been playing. If you guys thought the Clone Wars campaign was too much, that was, you know, 2-ish years of 100 episodes or whatever. That's like our 4th or 5th Star Wars campaign. At others which have been at various levels of completion, and my regret that they are not recorded. But like, we put a fuck ton of hours into Star Wars. We were still learning new things during Clone Wars about Star Wars rules specifically. So there's obviously the growing pains of new characters, new rules, new setting.
Okay, Juniper Finch, you need to, whatever you're doing, you need to stop it. That is literally the 3rd time you have died in the first boss.
Don't stand in the waves.
God damn it. Alright, it was my fucking, yeah, it's my heel. Wrong button, me. Alright, you get up. Up.
Well, so we were talking about MMO roles, and that was good kinds of things there. I would say that, I mean, I would argue this. You eliminating entire minion groups in one go is still your job. You are ranged DPS.
Well, yeah, like, DPS is something that I consider is underappreciated, because if there's not DPS, combat goes a lot longer.
As evidenced by how there were some interesting kerfuffles.
Uh-oh.
Guy, you really should listen to the second fight just so you can hear Dallas, like, completely pivot his character and start being very upset that he got knocked over and had to drop his shield.
I fucked up.
It was very funny. We all had a good time. and like stuff like that. But like your role as the Rangers, well, the problem with Star Wars was that the way characters are built, and especially when you guys were building a Clone Wars campaign where you were all fighters, everybody had DPS potential. So like, and also you were, in this case, you were one-shotting minion groups, which was good. You know, you did not one-shot the boss before they did anything, which is the kind of thing that makes people go like, maybe I wanted to interact with that guy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But no, like, just firing on, you know, basic bitch goblin mobs and, you know, taking them out. It's like, yeah, no, that's what your role is, you know? And it's not like the other quote-unquote DPS characters, question mark. We're not doing that. Interdimensional trigger discipline, yes. But as you know, the DPS nuke type caster Aaron was pretty effective as well. He also has the curse of not rolling enough advantage. We understand this. We understand the big Sag. But yeah, I think generally everybody was effective. You know, lucky your white hat is a healer and support bot, and you definitely went into that right out, stacking the buffs on the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly Dallas, because, you know, CC, close combat, getting in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think technically, I forgot to bring this up, I think Dallas technically challenged too many enemies, because he can only challenge as many guys as he has ranks. It did not come up, but I think he may have like pegged both the minion groups. He can't do that with only one rank of challenge. But still, like, you know, that he did the tank thing. He, you know, bum rushed into melee and yelled at enemies and would draw aggro to them, even if he wasn't actually using his, you know, taunting ability. I got to do my gob voice. I'm gonna shank you. I
enjoyed the gobs. I did not enjoy gob chili though. I'm still disoriented by an hour by the way.
Yes, I know. I loved it. I thought I hate to spoil it, but I'll tell you the joke. You guys should listen to the full thing. So we spent a lot of time like trying to, or I spent a lot of time in the pre-game in the writing of Gensakai and writing the supplements in trying to create a very full-bodied world. And I have my own, you know, rambles about this to do. Like I've been working on a subsection in the food guide, called the meal square, which is just a table of like very simple common meals. So I don't have to do full write-ups, but I can just be like casual stuff.
Oh, really? I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I know. I figure people haven't checked. It's still in dev, but I've got some ideas on there as well. You know, and dividing stuff up by like different cultures or areas. I learned some very interesting things though. Did you know that in the medieval period, the high medieval period, which many fantasy works take after, breakfast was not common.
Really?
Yeah, you just if you ate a morning meal at all, you would simply take yesterday's bread and sop it with wine.
Wow.
And the midday meal, which was then called dinner, that's why the midday meal is sometimes called dinner, was your really big meal after you'd done about half your day's worth of work. And then you would settle down for, after the rest of your day's worth of work, a supper afterward. Again, hot breakfasts did not catch on for quite a while. It wasn't until sometime in the 1500s, starting to get close to that early Renaissance period, that some physicians and scholars were like, maybe breakfast is not sinful, and, you know, eating 3 meals a day is good for you.
Wait, did they actually consider it sinful or something?
Yes, monks were, the Catholic Church and priests did not thought that morning eating was excessive. It's very hilarious.
Listen, Afros might not be my patron, my patron Siam, but she believes in good meals and good eating, so fucking... We're having 3 meals a day.
No, it's good. I mean, technically, I talked about in this the guide, for depending on your, like, your adventuring, you might switch around a little, and Porter can be like, no, 3 square meals.
Listen, everyone's got to get strong, get fast.
I might have hypothesized that adventurers might go for, like... Adventurers probably actually usually eat a very large breakfast when they're wake up in town, so that you can spend your whole day, like, trekking, adventuring, whatever, and then when you camp for the night, you eat a big meal, and you probably eat something with your rations in the middle of the day or whatever. But yeah,
no,
like,
I would say
breakfast and research.
No, like it'd probably be like a high protein, high carb morning, so you have plenty of energy in the fucking day to do whatever. A light.
And I do have an entry jotted down for what I've called the full adventurer's breakfast. Also, no, you are correct, Mr. Dennis Cordell. A lot of my notes on breakfast foods are different kinds of porridge with different grains.
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes sense.
I mean, yeah, porridge is basically the prototype breakfast cereal.
It really is. It's oats and whatever.
Yeah. Oats, barley, rice, whatever. Now, there are references in the Iliad to taking a morning meal, and the ancient Greeks did have pancakes served with honey, so fantasy pancakes are go. I mean, they were already go because of griddle cakes, but, like, that's probably a very common style of thing. Fun fact, the ancient Egyptians may have eaten falafel for breakfast.
Makes sense.
It might be that old, also, if you've been wondering. They would not have done the variant you see now as like a street food with like the pita bread. It would have just been the bean patties or fritters type stuff, but still. But yeah, so I did a lot of looking in this, and it was just like, yeah, no, that's really interesting. But I still think that because the reason why, other than the religious reasons, the reason why you didn't eat breakfast is because you had to get up and go do work.
Yeah.
Like if you had to take the edge off your hunger, you would eat a little bread and a little wine, and then you would go to work, and then it would be
Damn
like,
it, me!
Okay.
Oh, both our healers are dead. We're fucked. Wait, no, we have a red mage! Save us, red mage! Oh, and a summoner.
Yes.
I was dumb. I was talking. I shouldn't be trying to talk, having conversations while in the middle of trying to do mechanics, but here we are.
Yep, here we are. It's fine. That's how it does.
Shit. Pain! Oh, people are gonna die. People are gonna die.
Whoa, there's a lot of orbs. Those spheres.
Okay, I'm not raising that person. Where's my lucid dreaming? There it is. What's that? Okay, that person's getting up. This other healer is way better than I am. Also, the problem is I'm not good at Sage. The only reason I'm doing it is because I need to level it to 90, so I can get the special title for learning all magic disciplines.
That was a pretty rad attack. I like that one. Shuttle the swords out. Yeah, I do believe Sage is interesting. Like I said earlier, I believe it's a lot focused on a lot of preemptive stuff with barriers.
Oh yeah, it is. It is.
But also, you get floating guns. That's cool.
Yeah. Trying to keep people alive. Trying to keep people alive. I have to hit so many buttons. Ah!
Smash those buttons. Do that rotation.
Like, if I was playing... Like, I'm actually pretty decent at White Mage. That's my actual preferred healing class. Whoops! I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry, tank. It's not like I'm doing a lot of damage anyway. What the fuck am I doing? I don't know.
Scatter!
Shit, not again!
That reminds me, I need to go dig up another.
Oh, we won.
Nice. Probably because somebody somewhere in DPS was doing their job.
Yes.
It's important.
What are we, see?
Something in WebVid. A mem.
But no, yeah, I'm excited. Oh god, no, it's fucking Thunder God Sid. Fuck. Oh, I'm gonna hate this. Where's Loth? I need him. Loth loves it because he's a fucking masochist.
Loth is a weird boy.
He'd be like, "Yeah, let's go," in his Australian accent.
The people on the channel can hear Loth anytime they like. Just boot up a prog, possibly an FP. I don't know if Loth loves Phantasm Spiral, but also Loth occasionally wants to win a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! For some of us, it's been a little while. It's been a little while down here in the Suck Boys. Dallas left me and Loth behind. We are, to keep everybody updated, me and Loth are the two lowest winning percentile players in the format. Loth has, No, Robin hasn't played enough games to actually beat Loth outright and wins, but it may or may not happen before long. I technically have the most losses, but I have a better percentage than Loth does by a significant amount. When Loth wants to win, Loth wants to win. It's not very often, but there are times when he's like, no, fuck it, I want to win. Hold on, does this man have no head?
Of course not. Why would he have a head? He's an empty suit of armor.
He doesn't even have a hat. That one goof.
No, but
yeah, so
oh,
Gensakai, it's you should go watch the AP if you haven't already. If you have already watched it, thank you so much for those of you who have liked it and seen it and stuff. It's a lot of work going in, and like I said, I do a lot of work on this. There's a lot of like background shit that works into fleshing everything out. So like I am not upset at all when you guys are like doing all this background shopping and fooding and stuff.
Oh no, I'm excited. Like I wrote down chilies.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you're gonna try and fix it.
Yep. It's probably not gonna be that.
I was just saying, I don't know. Sorry to interrupt you there. Axe came up with a question. I brought up Warden earlier because like I'm not gonna say that you guys might not want more tanks, and obviously I have been doing a lot of work on stuff. That's why I've only been playing a very little bit of Aliens and Below Zero. Though I did do enough Aliens Fireteam grinding to get all the new guns. They're pretty sick.
Yay!
One of them's a heavy laser gun. You got to charge and release. It's weird. You gotta like hold down the trigger to charge it up, and then when you let go, it fires. And if you hold it down for longer, you use up more ammo, but it's stronger.
Oh, I gotta remember how to do fucking Sid. I'm not gonna remember how to do fucking Sid.
There's also a semi-automatic 3-round burst shotgun now, which is pretty rad. Oh, and there's a fully automatic sniper rifle.
Why?
This is wild. Yeah. No, it's just and if you do the right weapon mods, you can make those. You can reduce the recoil of those first couple shots, so there's no muzzle jump.
No, they're just gonna die. I'm just gonna let them be dead. They're in the wrong fucking. Well, okay, they're probably a spawn. They don't know what they're doing, but.
Yes, this is the return of Healer Lucky, where he's like, no, they're too stupid for their own good. Let them die.
Oh, they actually realize that they're with the wrong group. So you know what? I am dumb. I fucked up. Because I'm mad. Again, also I really don't like this fight. So
yeah.
No, keep running, you fool! Not towards us! Not towards us! Oh!
No. This is literally the meme that I just posted. Get away from me, you'll never catch me.
Oh.
A big rip. But yeah, I was saying, Axe, if you go down the route, like, I did do a lot of work on the Prestige class and the extra stuff, and actually, like, banged those all out in an afternoon with the actual talent maps. Did a lot of, like, work editing classes and stuff. I'll be a little glad to get back to probably doing some more adversary work.
Shit.
And I'm sure several of you others will be as well. But yeah, I definitely put an effort into especially with the Prestige ones, with making it so that to try and avoid the way the spec trees are mapped, to make you take like dead talents or worse, have to like, and this is something you were concerned about with a core class that I actually went back and fixed. Feeling like you had to go back.
Please note that person in the middle, not on the two platforms, just shooting. That's how you know they don't know what the fuck they're doing. If you see someone,
yeah.
Oh, wait. If you see the rest of your group running someplace to do something, you should probably follow them. Probably. Ugh.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Just
It's a raid. There's mechanics.
They're all mechanics.
But yeah, so I have tried to avoid writing the spec tree so you have to buy dead talents, or like I was saying, you feel obligated to go back and retroactively buy talents you weren't going to buy because that's a lot of EXP.
I did that wrong.
So I had to do some adjustments there. So, like, hypothetically, you could get Warden and avoid it, but also the way the Warden spec tree is built is it's absolutely Tank Ranger. Like, it gives you extra ranks of challenge. And I don't think Dallas will want a multi-class there, but I would say to, like, maybe wait on that one for a little bit because he may want those extra ranks of challenge, and that's one of the easiest ways for him to get them. Again, I don't think he'll necessarily go that route, but, just keep it in mind with a lot of the stuff. So he's probably just as likely to go Warlord, because I know he knows that love that class in 40, and Warlord that's support buff Ranger. Technically healing Ranger too. I think I even gave them medicine after the revamp. So yes, if you're like talking about like the stuff that like talking about me working on things and all the hard work. Yes, no, I do. If you're thinking about it, I do put a lot of work in there. This is the 2 years in the making. Like, some of it's casual stuff, like when Lucky is at work and doesn't have anything better to do, he'll just ask me casual questions, and oftentimes I'm, like, a decent amount of the time, like this week, I have just been chilling working on other areas of Gensakai anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if I was, and I'll say this, like, Axe has joked about me, like, setting up a ticket system or giving you, like, a 5-minute delay. Like, if I'm actually busy on something else, or I'm, like, if I'm not sitting at my computer anyway, I will be much slower to respond, and I will not be, like, as engaged as if I'm actively sitting on my computer. It's just that occasionally with his pressing questions, Lucky will divert me. He'll divert the river. He'll break the dam and have me work on something else rather than the thing I was planning on working on right away.
Damn it, I keep forgetting that.
Yeah. The reason why I did Dragon Soul was, one, I wanted to do an example of the racial, the archetype-focused specs I was thinking of. Because I think I've got a general idea for a lot of them, but most of them are half-shaped.
God.
And the reason why it was Dragon Soul is because that was the one that in my mind was, like, the most clear. I knew the shape I wanted it to be in and the kind of talents I wanted to put on it.
Sounds like a healer. Hang on. Someone, the other healer says, I'm too tired for this, so I'm just like, yep, sounds like a healer.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Well, so the idea with Dragon Soul was I wanted to incorporate a wide variety of, like, talents that made sense with things that you can traditionally do in Longu. Like, there's a lot of different warrior arts you're trained in. But I was like, oh shit, what if you don't have, because this is a universal spec, it's not going to add career skills. Well, I'll just make a talent to add specific career skills that you can just pick which ones you want to get. Where possible, and can go different routes, and they'll be useful, and they'll have other shit. Like, if you're not going to use Melee Light, you don't need to go all the way down to Mortal Blow. Which is one of the capstone talents for Dragon Soul that lets you, before making a melee check, you can suffer a number of wounds up to you meet your wound threshold, but do not exceed it. Add that much damage to the attack. Okay. So you go right to the cusp of being incapacitated. By the way, that's mandatory also for people wondering. That's it. If you do it, there's no cutting off. You have to go to your wound threshold, but not exceeding. But you get to do big damage, and then hopefully either eat a painkiller or something, because otherwise you're gonna fucking fall over.
Actually, that reminds me. Do we actually have painkillers, or do they? Are they the
health potion? It says in the description. That's
okay. I was just double checking.
That's why I just called the talent painkiller spec, because it's mechanically a health potion does the painkiller effect that is described in the core book. It's just that, like, it is a health potion, but mechanically, if you are familiar with the core rules, it is a painkiller. Because Whitehead does get a couple ranks of painkiller spec. You can do extra healing. Hey, that's gonna be funny. You don't have to necessarily buy all the stuff anymore, or stuff like that. But now you get to be the one like Boots, where everybody hands you their health potions to have you use them on them.
Oh yeah, no, totally. I'm planning on picking up Kurjin when I can.
Yeah.
So that's gonna have a few ranks in there.
Yes, Kurjin is just. It's non-magical healing, but it's like, yo, you want to heal, dog? You can heal people.
I have been having thoughts about like where I want to take my character and stuff. Looking at prestige classes, because prestige classes are always a treat. And well, I won't say they're necessarily a treat. I still don't know what the fuck they were thinking with Horizon Walker back in 3.5. I look at them like, what is this? But yeah, no. A lot of the crazy design was definitely not. I mean, some of it was inspired just because I saw new talents and I was like, shit, I need to incorporate these in the game. They make sense. But a lot of it was just like, I was inspired by the way they did the Star Wars splats, and like when you got that little new book with the 3 new specs for your class, they were usually pretty weird and wild. Like that's where all the really interesting shit where they like tried really unique mechanics was, and that's
I think reflected in how Jensei's quote-unquote prestige classes ended up.
Here we are! Oh, no, this is Ultima, not Yizmat. Never mind.
Still relevant.
Yeah.
Kind of surprised she's not hiding out in the end of a giant crystal. Though this version of Ultima also isn't riding her giant flying castle.
Just wait.
A gun.
Just wait for it.
Yeah. As I was saying it, I'm like, it's probably like her ass clapper 9000 attack. No, that's totally valid, X, if you want to take Slayer later. So some prestige class specs like completely change what your character can do. Like the red hat spec for wizard, like normally arcane magic doesn't heal, much like D&D. The red hat spec is about 1 more DPS because it's kind of like red mage. You do get a twin casting ability. Technically, there's 2 talents. There's double casting and double casting improved. The first double casting just lets you like add a free additional target like once per encounter. The double cast improved is once per session. After casting a spell, you can immediately cast a second spell for free as an incidental. Not for free, you still take the strain, but as action free. But the other half of that tree is magic healing, like healing with arcane and being better at non-magic casting healing, stuff like that. So, and the necromancer spec is a wizard spec, so you can get it in career, but it's just a general drop and play for anybody who wants to be a, undead summoner pets type thing. Just keeping in mind that that's a little evil, bro. It's a little bit evil. So, Slayer is definitely Ranger plus. Like, there's good shit in there. It makes sense. That gives you access to the terrifying and confidence lines. And when I re-ranked, so there were less orphaned ranks, you got improved confidence, which means you can aid other people making the same fear check as well, which is pretty good. And some other general stuff. But in general, it's just like, hey, Rangers are like, do DPS to mobs and figure out how to do mobs better, Like, the way I broke it down is, Hunter is the pet's utility one, but that also means you have like pet DPS. Mm-hmm. Sniper is just range DPS. It's very simple. And then Trapper is the 2 swords melee DPS ranger, with some other field utility stuff. Because this is something I realized is I wrote some guidance because I know some of the players were talking back and forth about what specs they wanted and what specs do what. So I actually wrote some like out of character guidance on this. And I realized that reading back over my own work in the Ranger spec and stuff, boy, people don't necessarily know what Rangers is. I think D&D, even in 5th, currently struggles with this problem sometimes. We don't really know what a Ranger is. We know that they were in Tolkien, so they've got to be in D&D, but what is a Ranger really? Like, sometimes they're the pet guy, but sometimes, like, druids are the pet guy. So, are they ranged? Are they melee? In some cases, like, I think another way to talk about the Trapper spec, which is also the melee dual-wielding DPS, is you're also kind of like urban rogue or wilderness rogue. Like,
nature rogue?
Yeah, which is absolutely a ranger build. Is just nature rogues sometimes. Like, you get, like, sneak attack stuff and shit like that. I think I did even add Trapper to actually have access to the backstab talent, because literally nobody else did, and I was like, that's only like a tier 3 talent. That shouldn't be limited to just one spec. It's not that unique, Mm-hmm. So, like, there's a lot of different stuff in there, and like I talked about that. The prestige specs, like, are very much more... 2 of the 3 prestige specs for Ranger are much more transformative. As I said, Warden is a tank rogue. You literally get access to the challenge talent, which you can hear Dallas use to much effect in our AP out now. And stuff like that. And Warlord is, support, Yelly Man. It is Ranger, but you can also use it as a standalone, like as a drop-in, because you get a lot of the aura-type abilities and inspired rhetoric and, like, yelling at people stuff. Because I really liked D&D 4th Edition Warlords. It was really cool having a martial healer support class. Getting other people to do charges and shit. It's pretty rad.
Pain!
But, yeah. We started, as we do, we get divergent stuff. We started talking about the chili, though.
Yes.
I was telling the story. So, as I said, because the food stuff is so involved, and I try to do all this full-blooded there, like, I include these little notes. So, like, the guys did a quest. They found some goblins. They went to the goblins' camp, and I was like, what are the goblins doing? Well, they gotta have a pot. What's in the pot? I don't know, something unspeakable. What will I do? Well, I'll make a joke about, specifically pluralized it, Chili's, like the speed dining restaurant. You know. I mean, it's not the worst it could be. I didn't call it Applebee's, but... So I was like, all right, what's your play here? So I put it there, and it was like, I described it as like, they make it when they're cold, so they just put whatever the fuck they can in there, whatever ground like meat, you know, pigeon, rat, whatever. They put it in some broth with some bone meal, and, you know, literally spice it up with, you know, wild root vegetables and peppers, and just kind of mash it all up in there. And then I was like, if you want to eat the chilies, it's a resistance check. It's not good for you. So Dallas's character, who is a construct, by the way, he's a flesh golem, technically, and he does not have to eat. He is not required to eat by the rules. He can if he wants, but he doesn't have to. Mm-hmm. And has pointedly been ignoring eating good food in town earlier. He decides to be like, fuck it, I'm a big tough boy, and takes a ladle of the chilies. And he's fine.
Of course this is when he decides to fucking eat, when it's something weird and stupid. That's when Dallas decides to fucking do it. Ugh.
Yes, when eating is optional, Dallas is like, this would be funny.
All right, you might want to watch this part. This is
yeah, okay.
This is the interesting part.
We'll take a gander. Bosses in 14 seem to usually have interesting parts.
Oh shit, that's right. This is literally a heal check. I almost forgot. It's not a giant castle, but there's something going on her lower half.
Yeah, we like exploded out of the wall, and now we have a... What is that, a weird dragon guy down there?
It's something.
It looked like she flew up and bit the little rock you're sitting on. Yeah, there's some greebles in there. Honestly, this character design for Ultima, like obviously Ultima appeared in several Evil East games and had her own kind of designs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's yelling about how she's the only god and whatnot. But also I feel like they kind of took some almost like some Genova-esque design cues there, because that bottom bit is like very like tentacly and weird.
Oh yeah.
Ultima's also very funny because she's the Esper of Light. She's the holy damage one. And she's the one whose fault it is, for the most part.
In 12, right?
In 12. She's the one who led the rebellion of the Espers, which is why they're all cursed. The only exception is the super secret optional one, Zodiark, the dark one. Zodiark was literally so strong that the gods left him as an egg and put him in a deep, deep, dark pit that's really annoying to access. It's an optional dungeon. And we're like, nope, not touching that. Ultima's in the Great Crystal in 12, which is also a freaky deaky dungeon. Baller music, though. I printed out the map to the Great Crystal teleports in 12 back in the day on printer paper. That's how committed I am to the bit. Also, X, you asked about what else is tanky about Warden. I mean, obviously, besides the fact that you do get the full double grit, double toughened. But heightened awareness is technically, I would argue, is a tanking and support ability. It gives allies bonuses on initiative. And you also have access to Menace as well, which is a debuff, not a direct damage effect. You've got some control elements in there. But also honestly, having 2 ranks of challenge and 2 ranks of defensive stance plus a decent grit wound buff is probably enough to count you as a tanking spec. especially when your dedication is down that half.
Oh, someone didn't catch the fucking... Oh, well.
Rip. But yeah, so Dallas eats the chili.
Yes, Dallas eats the chili.
And he's like, this is great. And naturally, in case you didn't pick up on this somehow over the 2 years we've been discussing this, Lucky's character is Porter the Pork Priest. He is a holy pig orc. Pork. Get it? So it's a very anime-esque orc. Not quite literal pig face, but definitely leaning a little bit more on the pig elements because it's funnier.
Oh yeah, I forgot we have to do this bit.
Also, because honestly, writing actual fantasy orcs these days is very hard and weird. I don't 100% agree with the people being like, oh, orcs are very obviously an allegory for this race, but it's also writing orcs as playable, intelligent races who exist and do stuff is also harder in the normal way, because it's okay, you're noble savages, I guess? That is kind of a trope with some racial baggage. There's some weird stuff going on here. Honestly, I think Elder Scrolls does it really well with just making them the war elves.
Mm-hmm.
They're technically still mer, so they're elves, but they're the warry kind. And they have their own specific culture as a result. But so Pork lean a little more comical in the expectations, so I can, have a more diverse writing. Also, the fact that they don't really have any assumed cultural baggage means that they get to do weird things with food and clothing and culture and other weird shit.
I love it.
I had some fun. But so you are a priest, so you're a cleric of the Earth Goddess, the Scion Verna.
Mm-hmm.
And being a pork, you are of the get strong, get fat school.
Yep.
So you are about the food. You literally have the cookery kit on
yes.
you, the cookware. So naturally, your first instinct is when I described this weird seared meat and bone, stew with wild peppers and garlic and onions and shit in there. You were like, this is clearly of Satan. We must throw it away.
Yes.
Then Dallas is like, I dropped Dallas the challenge. Would anyone like to eat it? And he's like, fuck it, I will. And he's like, tastes great. You had to try it. And then you whiff the resistance check.
I remember I was very, very reluctant to eat it, but I was all like, I need to do this for fucking science.
Yes, you're like, well, the Death Knight insists it tastes good. Keep in mind that, as we've discussed, Dallas's character is a flesh golem. He does not need to eat. I think we rationalized this even in character in the session, that clearly he just hasn't eaten enough good food to know what the fuck is good. He was just not physically harmed by eating this. So yes, the effect is if you eat it and you don't resistance it, you do not feel great and you are disoriented for an hour.
Yeah, so I'm disoriented for a fucking hour, and I'm just like...
Luckily, because we took a natural break session, I think you guys are gonna probably do a noonday camp.
Probably
make some lunch.
Get a break in there.
Take a short, the equivalent of a D&D style short rest. I should actually look that up before we start, is if it's supposed to be at the start of every session you clear strain, or if it's only when you take a short rest. Either way, you'll probably clear your strain thresholds. You'll take some breakies. But yeah, so just a hilarious moment. Oh yeah. Some of you also got a little beat up. Leona got shot with an arrow. The session ended before you could get heals.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Obviously, if it was an emergency, you could just quaff a health potion. I think most of you bought those.
No. Nanashi bought a bunch and tried to give them out.
True. But still, I'm pretty sure Leona accepted it.
Yeah. I didn't.
Because there's... Yeah. For character reasons.
Yes.
I think Nanashi still has that potion earmarked for Porter just in case.
Fair enough.
Because, it doesn't hurt to have a backup potion in case your healer goes down.
Yeah, no. It does.
Smart. But it's, Axe got, I think it was 4 wounds, so it's not enough worth that. Dallas also probably has a wound or 2 left over, but he's also got a shitload. He's the tank.
Yeah,
I think after one session, he's got 17 fucking wounds. See, multiclassing is expensive to start, but once you do it, you can get pretty strong pretty fast because you've got a lot of cheap talents you can buy.
Excuse me. Yeah, no.
But yeah, so we had a lot of fun doing a lot of stuff.
I am. I tried keeping my voice up. I think I did all right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I tried to maintain my character, and I think I did all right on that too.
Yeah, I think for the most part, everybody had their role-playing moments. Some and stuff did not work. Like, I know. Well, so fun fact. I may have alluded to it earlier, but Card's going for a full respec.
Mm-hmm.
He decided he did not wish to play Green Hat so much anymore.
I might have pushed him
to go Bard.
I might have pushed him a little into that, and I will definitely admit I have my own selfish reasons for that. But I do think that overall this would probably be better for him.
Well, I mean, you say you pushed. Like I read back the chat because y'all were very chatty that day. It was really just like he was discussing switching classes and wasn't sure, and you, in a couple of sentences, just threw out. I mean, I think Sleepy Bard fits the mold, and he was like, "Yeah, no, Bard, Troubadour will work." And nobody else seemed to object to that either. So, but yeah, so he's going to switch from being a shaman, a green hat, so very druidy, to more of another support caster.
Now I just got to convince Dallas to take like Necromancer or like what was the other one, Warlock, and then we'll have all the magic.
Yeah, but if Dallas casts Demonology, you're going to beat him up.
Yes, I am. But honestly, like I wish there was some sort of like I'd probably be like Warlock or something. But like I said, I feel like it might not be. It might. Well, story reasons, I think it might fit. But I don't know. He has a complicated relationship.
Well, yeah, Dallas is playing a paladin style character, but he is not being a paladin. I do not think he's ever going to pick up Crusader.
Yeah.
No, he says he's being a paladin. Axe, I played a paladin in 5e for a lot. Listen, just because I didn't get a lot of casting slots and had to use them to do smites does not mean that I was not a caster.
I mean, he said he's definitely going for a Dark Knight, and yes. I especially think when I think Dark Knight, I usually think the Final Fantasy XIV Dark Knight, which is giant sword, scary armor, and dark magic. You know, so I'm like, no, magic's involved in that shit.
Yeah.
Dallas has
currently with Magic Fencer, he's got part of that as well.
Yeah.
And he can do like magic melee attacks, and the actual Dark Knight spec is like absolutely like. So that it's a lovely little. I would say that the way I wrote the spec, because I haven't written the thing, is it's basically like hybrid tank DPS.
Mm-hmm. Like
you get to do shit like the fearsome ability to literally be like, oh, you engage me, you're scared now.
Be very afraid.
I get to make other people afraid when I murder people and whatever. But also it's got like, what is it? 1, 2, yeah, 3. Yeah, it's got 3 ranks of durable, so you just reduce critical hits. It's got a heroic will in there. So it's got a lot of, and technically it's got abilities that don't increase your damage, they just do debuff, so it's got control effect. So yeah, I would say it's hybrid DPS tank. Mm-hmm. He'll probably play it more tanky.
Uh-huh. Oh, excuse me.
But like I don't think him going magic is a mistake. The main thing is just that he's, and I'm not gonna throw any shade on Dallas. I don't think I've ever run a game where I like was trying out a new system and I told the players to keep it simple and they did not immediately be like, no, I'm gonna go for the most complex thing I can do right now.
It's true. People like to do that.
Well, it's not just you. I wrote my favorite example of it, just because it's so pointed, is...
Is this a Marth example?
Yes. When we first played Eclipse Phase, the first edition, I specifically asked people to avoid the multiple personalities implant, because that basically literally gives you a second character you can play, and I was like, that sounds like it's complex. And I was like, I don't understand psychic powers yet. Please don't play an async. Marth played an async with the multiple personalities implant. And we got through it. It wasn't a real problem. It helped us learn more, but we were definitely like fucking up more. And I was like, explicitly, that was a thing I called out of like, yeah, I'm not sure I want to touch these systems yet. And get in there. I mean, technically multiclassing is complex. I think the main thing is just that because you picked Thief, it's very simple. Leona's going in the other direction of what we talked about earlier. She's going Urban Ranger. It makes sense. It's fine. I appreciate that you guys are so willing to multi-class, because I know that, especially out of career multi-classing is quite expensive. But I appreciate that you guys are willing to go to those lengths for like character building stuff. I think it's really cool. That's why I'm actually perfectly okay with Dallas picking Magic Fencer. The main thing is just that like the game has certain balancing. The magic system is really robust and can be quite strong, you know. And we've even had our own stuff. Like, I know that my casters have been bothering me for like more options and flexibility to try and figure out blind spots, and which I'm like, but I'm okay with. Like it the main thing I think that would turn out was both you and Aaron brought up that there's no customizable magic implement that lets you pick like 2 things you can do.
Yeah.
Because the tome is like 3 things, and it doesn't boost your base damage, or if it does, it's not by a lot. So it was like, okay, we need a middle ground between the rod and the book to like do it, and I was able to come up with that. I went back to my old standby of Final Fantasy Tactics, and I was like, wow, there's a lot of mace classes that learn. I think all the classes that use maces are magic classes, so I'll come up with a thing there, and it was Crozier, basically, you know, the crook or the bishop staff.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of different variations of that, so making a customizable magic implement that way worked. And also, it keeps a personal thing where I do think the rules on magic implements are a little restrictive because, magic staff is one of them. There's no notes about how it's also a staff, so you might use it as a weapon. And I'm like, nah, fuck that shit. A magic staff is also a quarterstaff. Quarterstaffs are fucking way cheaper than magic staffs. And, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I am more about JRPGs than, like, D&D style stuff. But, like, your mage classes can always get a bunkening, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, like, even so back at, like, Final Fantasy VII, Aerith can hit people with her stick. You don't want to be doing that, but she can. Bonk. And in Final Fantasy Tactics, it's almost required until you get very deep in the game because in Tactics Advance, casters don't start with any MP. You have to build up MP turn by turn. So usually turn 1, because you get 10 per turn, I think is the default. Usually turn 1, you can cast a basic like Cure or Fire or whatever. But after that, that costs you like 8 usually, so that goes you down to 2. So if you get more, you don't always necessarily go back up every turn. And, you know, you start low levels, so sometimes you just gotta hit people with sticks. So
And we're in space now.
Space. I love the fucking space rip effect they do on that, by the way. The, like, slash and like, eye open. Anime as hell.
Yeah, I'm fighting fucking Eden right now.
Nice. Also, I noticed you do have a what appears to be a black mage in that back corner there, sitting in his ley line. Minding his own business. But yeah, so like we have a lot of flexing and stuff, like it like spreading out to different things, you know. And I mean, I'll definitely say like I feel like the switching to Bard, and I think did Card decide he wanted to start as Jester for more spellcasting?
Yes.
Okay. That will, I think, actually will diversify him a little, because that's the more vicious mockery type Bard. Mm-hmm. Not that I think Nanashi is very that kind of mocking, but you know he can get scathing tirade.
We're doing a fucking a GF attack right now, by the way. From Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah, you know. We're just gonna put some seals on the Earth or the Moon or whatever, and we're gonna do stuff now.
I'm glad that they can't smash square to increase the power. Just get shot into a galaxy.
Classics. Did they do any like 7 type crossover content when the remake came out?
7 specifically, like in an event. No, they do have cosmetics though.
Okay.
Like
I wonder if
you can get Cloud's outfit, you can get Tifa's outfit, you can get Cloud's bike. That's an item you have to buy though. Like bye. I got it because it's fucking great.
Well, yeah, the Defenders are amazing. Sweet bikes he's got. I wonder, because like obviously the aesthetics aren't 1-to-1. I just talked about like the switch between like 12 and 13, for instance, and you know, kind of going back and forth there. But like, 7 is very infamous for those like giant cutscene type attacks, you know, like Bahamut Zero, you know, fucking firing a laser from space, or Safer Sephiroth's, you know, supernova attack where he blows up the whole solar system every time.
It's like, stop that. We need that.
Yeah. Right, Dissonance is a good debuff. But yeah, so like that will definitely be because that's a spellcasting support, but in like a debuff way.
Mm-hmm.
Which, while obviously as the Black Hat wizard, Aaron could do and actually did do a couple of times in Sesh. His main thing is shooting lightning bolts at people, and what Card actually did in game with his primal casting was usually shoot seeds at people or rocks. So we were kind of overlapping a little bit of our Mage DPS there. I think that's part of the reason why he wanted to try and do a revamp, because he wasn't as sold on the doing stuff. Whereas by default, and this is not a me thing, this is actually suggested when they introduced the Verse Magic and the Fantasy Splat. Verse Magic, Bardic Magic cannot attack. You cannot use it as a direct damage dealer. The Dissonance talent allows you to do damage with it, but in a very specific fashion that is not quite the same way as like Aaron can point at a guy and throw lightning bolts, or Porter can make rocks hit people, or try anyway.
I tried. It wasn't good. God damn it. God damn it.
Well, part of that again may be that you were forgetting an extra ability die in your cast checks.
Maybe.
It's kind of important. If I remember correctly, adding a green die does better for your chances of success than upgrading a green to a yellow. It's just that upgrading to a yellow means that your cap of results is higher.
Mm-hmm.
You're more likely to succeed if you add a green, but if you upgrade a green to a yellow, you are, first of all, you can get triumphs, and your overall consistency gets better. It's just that you're not necessarily more likely to roll more successes. You'll just get more triumphs and advantages and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But so it'll be interesting to see. I should probably double check, but I assume he picked musical instrument rather than rapier, because he did not go dancer.
Mm-hmm. I really do want to get him of the lightning loot, though.
Oh, of course. And, yeah, you want him to shred.
Especially after seeing Scald. Like I didn't really pay attention to a lot of the Bard classes, but when I saw Scald, I was like, this is literally like one of the most metal fucking classes. Fucking
yeah. So I talked earlier about like how Ranger worked out. So the Troubadour, the core Troubadour, which I am also, by the way, seriously debating just doing a control replace and just making it Bard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, God, I had to type Troubadour a lot, and I'm like, I could make this shorter. I could have just called this Bard. I don't know why I didn't. It is Bard. It's the Bard's College. I don't know. I'll debate whether or not it's more flavorful to leave it Troubadour or not. But the Bardic core classes, we've already brought up Jester. That is the spell that gives you more talents for better spell casting and gives you debuff control type stuff like Scathing Tirade, which lets you yell people's strain down. So he can mana burn people. He can yell their stamina pools down. It's very funny. Also good for some social stuff. There is Dancer, which is split between letting you do melee DPS, basically, because you can do dual wielding and stuff, and also support buffs. Positive stuff. I mean, technically, Verse Magic is performative. Like, that's what the charm is.
Mm-hmm.
But it is also, like, I have alleged that it can also include, like, obviously not just musical instruments, but singing, dancing can also work. It can be your Final Fantasy Dancer type stuff. Dancer is a specialization, obviously. There is storytelling elements to certain classes, and other stuff. It's meant to be the breadth of the arts, with obviously magic music being the most forward. But other than like Dancer, then there's Gambler, which is the weird one. That's the weird bards. Like they have a lot of stuff for like social and knowledge skills and things, but also have the very fun double or nothing talents. So the way double or nothing works, by the way, if you've never read this one, people at home, is when you're performing any skill check, you can use double or nothing, and I think it's an incidental, to increase the difficulty by 1. But if you succeed... Actually, no, it's not even if you succeed. It's after all symbols are canceled, your advantage are doubled. Your remaining advantage are doubled. Which can be very spicy.
Spicy.
But you have to succeed a difficulty increase. And that it improves. Double or nothing improved means that at the end of the check, you double the amount of successes. And Supreme is when you use double or nothing, you double the amount of despair and triumph symbols, because those don't cancel, so it's both.
It's a little intense, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Oh, it's very swingy. It's like, it's gonna be nonsensical. It's it is a literal gamble. Like you are betting. You basically when you activate Double or Nothing, you're telling not even the GM, the dice, I bet I can succeed on this even if I increase the difficulty by 1. Keeping in mind that that's a 20% increase in difficulty. The difficulty scales from it's 0 to 5, but still, that's how it goes. And the simple checks are very specific usually. So, yeah, it's very spiced. But yeah, so that's the weird one. So the prestige classes I built were Maestro, which is focused very much on, you could call it like leadership bard, but also I would say a lot of it has to do with information gathering. Go back to like I remember that in Dragon Age, Liliana pitches bard as a spy basically. So that's kind of those vibes. You get access to some fun stuff. Like, you're still an artist. You can do all kinds of things like that, but you can also just mine information. Mime, which I am personally very proud of every time I read it. Very much inspired by weird, not just like mime classes in Final Fantasy, but a lot of those weird jobs where you're like, what the fuck does Juggler do? And then you're like, oh shit, Juggler's amazing. I get to throw knives at people. So Mime is basically, for lack of a better term, a social tank. Because you've got a lot of ranks of abilities like Implacable and Shameless and stuff, so you can just be like, nah, you're not stressing me out in this conflict, in this social encounter. I'm not compromising, you're compromising.
Check out this sick bike.
It is a sick bike. Yeah.
Oh, time to go.
But the other thing that Mime does is they are the anti-caster caster. They have a level 1 talent, Silencing Strike, where I assume they just throat punch somebody, which makes it so that person is bad at magic for the rest of the encounter.
Yep, we're gonna lose. People are literally just splitting the fuck off to go do whatever. This is the PvP mode I was talking about. There were 72 fucking people here about to just...
And they're just fucking around.
Oof. Yeah. Because while killing people does get points and whatnot, you get usually more points from actually completing the objectives.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
It do be happening. But, so you were talking about Scald. Scald is just like I said, a lot of the prestige classes, like, have weird prerequisites or mechanics that you might not necessarily be interested in. Like, there's no necessarily narrative check to being a mime. It's just that being a mime is weird. It's a weird specialization. It's a very weird bard thing. Scald is literally just shit. There's a lot of good talents for music that they added in the new book. I want to make a new bard spec. So Scald is like I said, with Slayer. Scald is like Bard Plus. And it has really cool stuff in there, like Song of Travel.
I like that.
A very classic bard thing. That I think I took from some stuff. There's the Anthem. You play an inspiring anthem. It has a specific talent called Goes to 11 they introduced that increases your range of music.
Like, I actually had a question about that. Is that basically is that like just any like musical talent in which like your talent is based on using an instrument or something?
Yes, so talents like Dissonance and the other one will also be increased because those are usually range locked.
Fuck that shit.
That's why I was like, oh, I have to put this in a bard spec. Like, it's how you get more range.
Mm-hmm. Run away, run away, run away. Oh, shit. Do we got people coming to support us? We got a little bit.
So, yeah, Scald ended up just being very much the warrior-type bard that... Much like Ranger, Bard's another weird one where, like, I have my own ideas about what being a bard is like, but, like, not everybody does.
Mm-hmm.
It can be very wacky and wild. Like I said, in Dragon Age, Liliana's bard spec is like is a spy type rogue. It was an
infiltrator.
Yeah, and it used her stealth abilities and stuff. Though I do believe, was that Liliana's inherent ability or was that her bard ability? Was her like stunning song? She could do like a crowd control effect. It's been so long since I played Dragon Age. BioWare, please! I'm begging you. Dragon Age collection, like Mass Effect. It's been a long time, and those games are very long. Also, I kind of want to play Dreadwolf without having to buy Dragon Age Inquisition again and then buy Dreadwolf, because I played Inquisition on the PS3. The Trespasser expansion. And actually, was there another expansion that was next-gen locked?
They literally pulled me out of my bubble. Fuck you guys.
Yeah. Whereas, like, I personally, I don't know why, but I love bards. The kinds of bards I've always wanted to play are either the battle-type bard, like, you know, a jaunty song in one hand, a rapier in the other kind of shit. Again, this is why I love Raid Magic.
I was about to say.
But, and there is, I've talked about this before, there is a very extensive Final Fantasy XIV hack for D&D, which includes Red Mage as a standalone class. As a very bard-esque caster with a rapier, but you get, like, what do they call it, like, panache dice? You literally get to be flashier at people. It's a very good hack if you're interested in that kind of thing. But the other thing is, like I said, I like the weird stuff. Like, they introduced, was it Spirit Bard? They basically introduced a fortune-telling bard in the, God, I'm really blanking. Ravenloft, the horror book. They did a new bard spec where instead of an instrument, you get to do your bardic instrument stuff with fortune-telling items like spirit boards and cards. And I'm like, fuck yeah, tarot bard. That's me. I am a huge... So I'm a huge weeb, but probably because partially because I'm a huge weeb, and the Japanese fucking love classic occult stuff. I am also a classic occult nerd. Like, all of the archdemons in Gensekai are named after classic Goetic demons.
Yep.
The weeb part comes in the fact that all the scions are named after basic bitch constellations. It's very Final Fantasy. I know. I did some extra efforts for all the domains and stuff. But I have used tarot cards. So, you know, that for me is I'm just like, damn. But so, bards, much like rangers, are very flexible, so their specs are pretty weird. Like, the priest core specs are pretty... I mean, cleric has usually been very flexible to a lot of people, and priests are usually pretty flexible.
Well, that's usually because...
games.
And these types of games, like in D&D specifically, is because you always had, like, you'd always choose from, like, so many fucking domains, so you could have, like...
Yes.
You can pick your flavor.
Honestly, even in, like, OSR, like, really old school D&D, even then, a cleric was like, okay, you're a priest, so you cast healing magic, but also, you can't use bladed weapons, but you can use, like, a club or a mace. Like, you were a thumper. You got a hit and stick, and also dealt out magic heals and attacks and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Put on the heaviest armor you can and just get in there.
Yeah. And usually Divine Magic did not have a requirement on, like, wearing heavy armor or stuff. This is something, by the way, that Genesis does balance. Genesis is like, no. If you're wearing heavy armor, if you don't have a free hand, or if you're silenced in some way, you can't speak, you get penalty dice. Not a lot. It's usually just, like, 1 or 2 setback. But it's still there, so, like, you gotta watch out. This is part of why Dallas is taking his build in a very specific direction. He wants to get battle casting, so he doesn't have to fuck with that, because he is a sword and board fighter first, and a mage knight second. But priest is inherently flexible, so the original 3 specs are Crusader, which is paladin, you tank and turn undead, and get some interesting DPS stuff. Inquisitor is kind of like the... encounters are real in this game, but also it gives you some, like, interesting, like, investigatory problem-solving abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to go first. In my notes, when I was talking about, like, that out-of-character stuff I did, I definitely thought about, like, a lot of cool, fun hybrids you could do with multi-classing, because it's very freeform in this. Like,
oh, yeah.
And I would like to point out, you could totally start Priest Inquisitor and take Rogue specs, or start Rogue and take Inquisitor as, like, and be, like, the like, religious spy type, or secret, you know, order kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the Chantry Seekers in Dragon Age Inquisition.
Nope.
And then White Hat, which is Lucky's starting spec, is just you heal. You are the healer.
Yes.
You have like 4 different ways you can heal people. But you also get some good shit casting because you are also the spec that is focused for sure on casting magic.
Yes.
But when I added the pre-spec, it was like Oracle was you mentioned earlier that it plays around with a lot of the story point pool. That's out of game. That's why it exists, because like they added a lot of cool story point manipulation talents to the game in the Keyforge book, stuff like dramatic entrance and dramatic escape and stuff. So I was able to like work that around into doing some interesting things there. Bishop is more socially leadery type stuff, but obviously has the implications that you are higher up in the church. You know, it's got like the tenure talent and stuff. And then Shrine Keeper was just like there was a D&D 4th ed class. I think they might have been called Warden. Funnily enough, but there was a primal bow using class in D&D 4th that I really liked, and I just turned that into Shrine Keeper as like a. And this happened. Lucky talked about like clerics get a shitload of domains. This happens sometimes. You get that kind of weird. Clerics and druids have always been kind of similar, so you can get some bleed over of like priests of wilderness gods and stuff. Yeah, that's kind of what Shrine Keeper is for. Is like it's for very specific deity type stuff. Like Lucky is a. We were probably taking Shrine Keeper 1. But it makes sense. Porter is a priest of the earth goddess, you know, who is responsible for all the plants and animals and the riches under the earth and all that stuff. So, like, very popular with farmers, but also has a lot of, like, wilderness implications, you know.
Dang.
So, like, if you were to stay a priest of her, you are not necessarily, you know, going to big giant cathedrals and paying homage. No. You pay homage to Verna in, like, fields and mines and mountains and wild places. Yeah. You know, so not that she's not important for like hardcore civilization, it's just it's not the same thing. So Shrine Keeper like works for that, and there's a couple of other like wilderness focused deities that works for, like, you know, obviously Pablo, the sign Sagittarius, who is the god of the wilderness literally, and, you know, protector of travelers and stuff like that. Like that's obviously would not make sense for you to be a divine caster and be playing like a traditional like armored ass paladin, right?
Right.
No, you'd be hunting with a bow. You could probably argue Hemoth as well. Virgo, sign of isolation, meditation.
Yeah, but that's like I was reading Hemoth, but that's like isolation is just one of those weird concepts. You can be isolated anywhere as long as you have the right mindset.
True. That's why a lot of it is like mental, and why Hemoth is associated with a lot of like mental disciplines. A lot of monks, for instance, pray to Hemoth because they're like, you know, free me from my earthly desires and teach me to punch rocks better. Though I would. So there's a lot of backstory in this game as well. I've been thinking whether or not I want to write some fiction about the Battle of the Breach, the, you know, kind of famous big backstory event that everybody should know about. I did in the Adventurers Guild section include, you know, very D&D-esque. There are 8 iconic founding members, 1 for each core career. Funny how that works. And like in my mind, all of them have very distinct characteristics and personalities.
Oh, I'm dead again.
Rip. Like, obviously, Saint Brava, the Sword Saint, you know, is very classic, like, fantasy anime heroine stuff. She had a magic sword. She was part god. She did a lot of cool stuff.
The coolest.
She's, you know, kind of the iconic fighter, though she would have absolutely multi-classed into Crusader. That's canon, by the way. She had all 3 of the core fighter specs, yes, even Berserker, but also absolutely went Crusader because she was part Scion. Lucky's a big Verna stan. I don't know if the rest of the team has picked up on it, but out of game, I, as the writer, I'm a big Heraklion stan.
Yep.
The Scion of Fire and Freedom.
Yep.
The Scion Leo. Well, listen, you know me. I like fire. I like red.
Yes, you do.
It's pretty easy. I had a lot of fun with all of them, but if you want to know which of the character designs I like the best, it's that one. So Saint Brava obviously takes a little bit of that energy, the thing going on there because she is Herakleon's descendant, but she's your iconic fighter. The iconic monk is Saint Kestis, the Dragon Fist, founder of the Anything Goes school of martial arts. You know that meme about throwing dynamite's not a martial art? Hey, whatever works. That's Saint Kestis. He would absolutely throw bombs and also suplex dragons. I don't know if he was able to suplex any trains because trains are a lost technology. Not joking, by the way. I do mention in Old Lemuria there were what was called trains. There were large, it would be more like the earthbending trains and trolleys you see in Avatar, because they were magic. But it would basically imagine a magic rail that constantly powers something to move, and that's a train. I mean, lost technology it's narrative. It's lost. That's why Orichalcum is so expensive, because all the people who knew how to make it properly are dead or evil now, or evil dead now. And so if you want to get it back, you guys have to go to Old Lemuria, which is explicitly that's one of what I would call the end game areas of this RPG game is going to Old Lemuria is real deal, because not only are there lots of evil creatures still there and weird experiments and bullshit, but also there's just, hey, we were the really advanced Atlantis-ass high-tech civilization, and now nobody is minding any of the buttons anymore, so shit's just weird. There's a lot of plot hooks and stuff there. So, it's worth a lot of cash, but it's also hella dangerous. Oh, that's Lesser Science, also is all the saint lists.
Yes.
There's a big list. That was the thing we were talking about when Card Respect a Little was religious observances. And I made sure to shout out that obviously the big 13 scions are big, but yeah, it's not like the Greeks and the Romans and lots of others didn't have loads and loads of minor deities as background characters or very specific forms of images which govern certain things. So there's a lot of lesser scions, and especially for humans, the saint thing, the sanctification. Though there's a few saints out of Longu as well. And there's one pork saint. He's very important.
Very important.
But the
saints of get strong and get fat, literally.
Yeah. By the way, I thought about it. It's canon. He wasn't the axe saint yet, but he was at the Battle of the Breach. He was bumming around. He met Saint Brava. They probably high-fived.
They did a fastball special.
Yeah, probably.
So listen, just throw me at the problem and I'll solve it. All right.
I didn't even know if it would be that style of fastball special, but the fucking jump off the axe pitch.
Oh yeah.
Swing the axe like a baseball bat and just leap off.
Mm-hmm.
Become speed.
Sounds about right.
But so there are a lot of the lesser scion type characters which fill in lots of minor roles and also are just legendary heroes you can look up for. There's the Beast King, the Prince of all animals. He is definitely not the Monkey King. Shut up.
Yeah, I'll just look at that fucking Beastman artifact there and be like, yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, uh-huh. He hung out with a Saint Triax. Don't ask me anything about that. That definitely has nothing to do with the Tripitaka.
Nope.
But they're meant to be a lot of the fill in the classic great heroes and stuff. And, hypothetically, because they're saints, they're probably chilling in the heavens. You could go meet them. You could ask them questions if you really wanted to.
Yeah, ever since you put down commune into the predicting, I've been doing a lot of ing.
Yeah. Leona would probably know a lot about Ryuhime, the Dragon Princess, who allegedly rules all the lands under the ocean next to Longu. But there's a lot of random stuff. I know you brought this up for for Card, because this is an actual point of like religious contention in this setting. Minim, who is our Satan analog, Minim, the corrupted, once the beautiful, was in charge of beauty, creativity, and skill, like that classic Greek concept of agate, perfection. Well, she got a little crazy, and is evil now. So how does that work when like all creativity and arts were the things she taught mortals? Well, there's some fillers in. There was a lesser scion muse who was supposed to be of teaching and learning.
I believe it was one of Minim's daughter, wasn't she?
Yes.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are just like, okay, we'll just take this portfolio, this domain, and move it over here. Yeah, Muse is Minim's daughter, the first student. So she was the one that Minim taught the arts to first. So now that we don't have access to Minim, you basically create a muse for teaching mortals poetry, song, dance, and music.
Listen, the science fucked, y'all.
There's a lot of them. I mean, and there's a lot of like back and forth there. There's a couple of different pairings and meshings and whatever. So do not try to have a ship war with the greater and lesser scions. It won't work.
Yeah, if I remember, Chryso banged Verna, Aqua, and Karka, I believe. Let's see.
Yes. Because Karka is the moon and is so multi-gendered.
Yes.
Karka is whatever Karka feels like.
Mm-hmm. And then that was for Vernon. That was Miriam. That's like I don't have my fucking Scion family tree memorized, but I'm getting there.
There would definitely be a graphic somewhere in there, but yeah,
somewhere.
No. So, like the Chryso Verna pairing is one of the most important because that's where a lot of the big name Scions come from. That's where the daughters of Karka, which is all that's. Well, let's see if I can rattle them all off of it. That's Aphros, Hemoth, Minim, and eventually Ophelia. And Heraklion, right. Yeah, Herakleon's in that list. Heraklion before Minim, and then Ophelia is technically part of that. So, like, that's the source of a lot of good stuff, but also Mare and Pabil that was Verna and Chryso. Not Verna and Chryso, Verna and Karka. That's why Pabil is sometimes a centaur man, and sometimes his bottom half is a scorpion. And there was going to be some cross-pollination there. Hemoth's story is very Artemis-esque. She was supposed to get married to Mir, and that did not go through, so now she is chilling.
I think Mir was okay with this. He's like, perfect, more time for studying.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure... because Aphros is depicted as a married woman, I would probably assume that she ended up married to Mir, like in the greater canon, but it's not like really a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Mir minds his own business, and he even has a mortal girlfriend. So the marriage is probably more symbolic than anything else. Alternatively, it might be weirder if Aphros and more interesting if Aphros is depicted as a married woman, but she's never been married. Where did all of her kids come from? Mysteries, secrets. Because, Aphros Aphrodite style has a boatload of collective lesser scion daughters who are in charge of lots of various things.
Clearly, she just fucking adopted them.
Also possible.
It's like, all children must have a loving home.
That is her thing. Aphros is in charge of adoption as well.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm excited. I honestly do love all the cosmology.
Yeah.
I was about to say cosmetology.
Like I said,
I was like, wait a minute.
I'm world build loudly.
I was like, who's the scion of makeup products? Oh.
I don't. Minim was technically beauty, so I guess mortals would have learned makeup from her, but I don't know if that would have been necessarily a separate purview.
I know.
Then again, I did for the lulls, just because of the pipeweed meme. Casters smoke a lot of pipeweed, y'all. It's because it recovers straight. It recovers mana, basically.
Yeah. Tobacco.
Yeah, I made Tobacco as the scion of smoking, and there is also a a lesser scion associated with wine, vina. But
me.
that's much more topical because I believe you discussed wine cults on this podcast before. That's right. To the ancient peoples, getting drunk as a skunk was so mystical they thought the gods must be behind it. Though, to be fair, especially old Greek-style wine was very different from modern wine. You had to water it down out of the pot because they just fermented it in the urn, and you did not want to drink it straight. You would get very fucked up. Though, that reminds me of another funny anecdote. I love the moment where, you guys are all doing just character building stuff, trying to figure out where you're going for the night. Nanashi and Porter end up going out to the Neff caravan who are camped out outside of town, minding their own business, swap stories, have fun, world building. Leona ended up kind of dragged along because that's just what you do. She did also spend some time catching some fish, so, she one of those fish cooked. But the Neff, challenged her to drink, and they gave her some pure water, and I was like, hey, what's your resilience at? Oh, no. Anyway, so you take a full swig of schnapps, basically. They're pure water spirits. It's unflavored alcohol. Fun. I will be glad, though, after that big kind of, first round of class adjustments to get back to writing some more in the Game Master section for NPC stat blocks and stuff. It's where I have a lot of fun in the world building.
Mm-hmm.
I've added some fun new ones.
Oh.
I realized that I didn't have a Marlboro analog.
No, why?
So we added the Rafflesia. It's a nemesis.
Oh.
It spits poison at you, and it smells very bad. Literally, when you engage one, you suffer 2 strain. When you get close, it's very smelly.
That is a Rafflesia.
Yeah.
Oh, Yakuza's trending.
Nice.
Let me see.
I do know that they recently released some. They had a very staged moment where I think it was a Japanese MMA fighter went down to the studio so they could do some mocap on him, and they were like, "Hey, we're working on Yakuza 8. We don't have a title yet, but we're working on it. Look at some stuff. Woo." But also too, the funny thing is, I struggled the most with trying to find the alliteration and the thesauruses, but I did also add cannibal creepers, which you think are undead, but they're not. They're actually like a type of parasitic vine or fungus that puppets corpses around to get your vital fluids.
Terrifying?
Yeah. And they're alliterative, so you know they're good. I added my another idea. Was that? Yeah, that was a minion. The Giga Cricket. Because we can't have ordinary plague crickets and then locusts. They must be Giga Crickets. Which can be as large as a sheep or goat. They come in swarms to eat your crops. They're not really like hostile to people. Yeah, it's not meant to be edgy. It's meant to be kind of the funny of the darkness, and just realizing that oh hey, these people's corpses are zombos now. That's very weird. You're gonna run into a lot of the obvious fantasy trappings, but the intention is not to be it's not that question of this happens sometimes in RPG where you're asked wait, if these animals and weird creatures exist, why don't they just eat everybody and we all die? Well, that doesn't happen because there's this whole system and the rules and everything to not do that. That's not supposed to happen. So
yeah,
it's just occasionally it happens, and you have to deal with these problems in a normal way, as dealing with other natural disasters. I did finally round out magical beasts because there's 3 minions. There's at least 3 rivals.
I am totally
Had some fun there.
Totally gonna adopt a Spirit Fox 2 if I can manage it.
Yeah, they are minions. The other minion I added was the Thunder Lizard.
Oh, sick!
It's a lizard that's electric.
It's a minion. We should get one for Aaron.
But also, fun fact, they're canonically slightly spicy.
Maybe we'll get one after I get to cook one.
Oh. Yeah, well, there's still one because they're large iguana or monitor lizard sized. So
Oh,
you'll get
they're
a lot
slightly
of
acidic. That's why.
yeah.
Funny enough, acid makes things spicy. Don't know how that works.
Yeah, I really don't know, but it's true. Like the peppers, they're spicy because they have acids in them. If you think of sour stuff as having a similar burn, that's all citric acid.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I looked this up because somebody was talking about like spiciness. Like cinnamon is technically a spice, but we do not associate it with spicy flavors.
Yeah.
Because usually it's used as a punch up on sweets. But let me tell you, my grandpa, my paternal grandfather, big fan of Big Red gum. And if you've never ate a bit of stick of Big Red gum, you can't say that cinnamon is not hot when it's the only source of flavor.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the same as like eating a hot sauce, you know? So, but I actually looked up like what makes spicy Cheetos spicy. Mostly citric acid. Like there's some other flavorings in there, but the only active ingredient I saw that actually would cause like a spicy type reaction was citric acid. Their tails probably grow back. Their tails are a weapon, so that can make sense for you to scavenge the tail for some spicy meat. Lucky, did you chuckle at the next entry down?
Yes.
I thought so. I had a lot of fun with that. Almiraj. Actually, fun fact for a lot of our Fate fans in the audience, that's a legend that is associated with Alexander the Great.
Really?
It's a Persian legend, yeah. He killed a dragon, and they gave him a horned rabbit as a pet. And he named it after the city, I think, Almiraj. But yeah, Almiraj is like a very weird, exotic Arabian creature, which is it's a rabbit that's not afraid of dragons. So I made a fireproof rabbit with the fearless ability. But the thing I'm working on now is what's going to make Axe excited is Dragonkin, finally.
Yeah.
Now, I admit I'm in a little bit of a crossways here. I want, like I said before, I want minions in every slot, like at least one, ideally 3. I was originally going to have Salamander in there, but the Realms of Terranoth had a really good rival build for Salamanders, and it makes sense because they're, like, solitary. They don't really group up. So now I'm kind of like, what do I do? I'll figure out something.
I'm going to post this, so... Mm-hmm.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. It's an idea.
Get horse. Trogdor was a horse. I'm gonna close that one up. Let's see. How long have we been going? Almost 4 hours again. Lucky's just hanging out on the street.
I am.
Well, I'm getting kind of hungry for a snack, though. It is getting a little late. Luckily, I don't have to render this video. It just goes on the internet. But we should probably wrap up a little. Like, we could talk about Gensekai for forever, but other than, like I said, been chipping away at some of the extra fluff stuff with the Mule Guide, a lot of it's just been rebalancing stuff after playtests and commentary and, like, getting stuff out of the way because players are interested in stuff like the Prestige classes. And we're going to play again tomorrow, and we're super hype. You should go listen to the first session, if I didn't say that enough.
I need loot, and I need money. Because I gotta craft shit.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm actually, like, I'm kind of glad that some of you guys have done the math for some of the stuff you want, and it's a large spread of money, because, like, when I was doing the playtest notes in the blind, basically, like, obviously I know what the economy is like, but I don't know what your economic goals were like out of the box. So I was a little concerned, like, is this a little too much cash? But I'm like, oh, no, it's good. Okay.
No, I'm looking at my shopping list right now. It's for everything I want. You know, even, like, you know, a Damascene fucking cleaver. But I'm still, like, at 32K right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be at this for a minute.
That's a decent chunk of change.
Yes. And I say I'm gonna be adding stuff. Actually, here's a quick question. For enchanting, do you need artisan tools?
No. You probably need whatever tools are appropriate for the item. Artisan tools certainly wouldn't hurt, but they're used to be kind of specific.
Well, I mean for enchanting. Like, artisan tools / enchanting. Did I say it wrong? I might have said it wrong.
Well, I don't think... Let me actually pull up the book. Hypothetic for the actual, like, using of like if you've already made an item and you want to enchant it to add enchantment effects, technically I think you just need you That's the tool, is the magic caster.
I am the tool. I am the right tool for the job.
But if you're asking if you can make crafting easier by adding artisan tools, let me actually read this.
Well, no, artisan tools is just the right tool for the job, so...
Okay, yeah.
And that, I believe that just allows you to make the chat, but they were talking about how it's like for professions and stuff, and I'm like, I would consider an enchanter a profession.
It probably is a profession, but that's not what I meant the check for when I wrote artisan tools. That was just meant to be a catch-all, other than the other like toolkit stuff to like let you do a variety of fluff stuff.
Sick, I'm taking it off my list then. Get out of here. Also, another question I had: can you stack the effects of amulet? Is this like a magic slot kind of system where you only get to wear like one amulet?
No, I'm pretty sure you can wear as many amulets as you like. This is a question we had when we were talking about rings earlier, and I'm like, yeah, there's no restriction on rings.
Yeah, no, that one.
You had it in your brain that there were slots, and I'm like, no, I don't think there's any rule. I think you can wear like 10 rings.
Yeah, no, that was a mea culpa.
You have 10 fingies, so you could wear 10 magic rings.
I always feel that's one of those those gameplay conceits I'm just so used to. Is like when you only get like 2 magic rings.
Yeah. No, the games are usually like you can only put 1 magic ring on your finger, and like, what or else? This would have an excellent or else excuse, but I'm like, no, the actual rules in the core book about rings don't really fight you. It's just they're really rare and weird. Also, we should note that your budgetary concerns is not also counting structure, which are hella expensive.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll work on that one. Okay, but I think we've gotten a good show out of the day.
Yeah!
So we should wrap up. I mean, pinky rings exist. You wouldn't. It's true. You wouldn't necessarily go all the way out there. But thumb rings and pinky rings are real. So yeah, you can jam a ring on every finger. But okay, it's enough talk about fingies. Let's wrap up.
Yes.
Like I said, I'm out of water, and I could use a snack. I am hungry.
Lucky he's feeling the hunger, too. It's dinner time.
Yeah. Let's do the outro. It goes a little something like this. If you're watching this video on YouTube, be sure to give it a like if you liked it. If you have any comments, you can leave in the comment section down below. We're sorry about the chat overlay, by the way. We'll try and figure that one out.
Yeah, I will.
And I'll double-check it for myself on Monday as well. Like, if our site that we go through is broken, we'll have to think of something else. But yes, be sure to leave a comment down below. Join our Discord. Link is in the description.
Fixed it.
No, he got it. All right, cool.
Yeah, I just double-checked the properties. I forgot that I wasn't using the custom frame. I was like, God damn it.
There we go. All right.
It was literally that simple.
Riporino.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's there. All right. We have the chat archive. It doesn't matter. Join our Discord. If you're new here, please subscribe to our channel to get more. That is another thing that hopefully I'll be able to start working on more over the next couple of weeks is the 40K fail portrayal. I haven't actually poked at that in about a week, but we are like 45 subs from 3,200, which is my goal to do that. And I'm sure it'll still be wacky and wild, so consider supporting us by subbing. And also ringing that bell for notifications. That doesn't really support us. That supports you. That just lets you know when we post new videos for stream. It's good for you. Consider it. You can also join our channel memberships, get access to membership badges and emotes, as you can see displayed on your screen right now, I believe, and in the chat replay. Help support us and stuff, like we said, work through, Lucky's talked about getting a new tablet, getting other stuff, getting games. I'm talking about, like I said, like budgeting out computer stuff. So, your support helps. You can also support us on Patreon, like I said. If you want to get the 15-minute dark hour, that's a hell of a non sequitur. Listen, we've been here for 4 hours. Yet I'm still not as stupid sounding as I was with Let's Talk. I start to lose it a little at the end there. You'll see. This is a lot more freeform as I think it. It's not me reading giant lists. But anyway, you can support us on Patreon to get access to this show in audio format for as little as $1 a month or roughly $10 a year. So you can go ahead and check that out if you want to hear that little bit of audio. It's not really important. It's just, like I said, a couple of other stuff that we brought up, but just some general commentary you might have missed. It might be fun. You can also get all our podcasts audio that way, including our APs. The audio is downloadable there. Audio is also usually posted first-ish for most shows. It's a little more concurrently with the APs because they aren't as big of a swinger. who knows? I might put that back in the proper day early rotation with if the Jinsekai continues to be quite so popular. But yeah, support us on Patreon. It's good for us. Get access to other stuff. Just help support us. All right, we'll see you guys next time, and also hopefully see you on Monday for Great Ace Attorney. We're gonna start Case 5. Let's go.
Let's go. And let's go. Have a good evening, everyone.
Yep. Cut audio.